All right, guys, welcome back to the Third Eye Truth Theorem. Episode 158 is March 2nd. Man, it's third month already. March 2nd, 2026. Third Eye Truth Theorem coming at you again in downtown St. Joseph, Michigan on a, 40-degree day? It's nice.
Unseasonably warm.
Yes. So
it's still Michigan.
Yeah, it's still Michigan weather, though.
You never know what's going to happen.
You're right about that. I am James Gill, your host. There's Joe Hill, the co-host, and we have a special guest here tonight,
Still
guys.
drinking my Dr. Pepper.
Still drink, yeah. He's still on his Lent binge, no drinking. Very proud of you, Joe. Second
Good
week
job.
almost.
Me too.
Second week.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. All right.
It's a big accomplishment.
Yes,
I do it every year, but it's still hard every year.
That's okay. All right, today, guys, we have a special guest on tonight. He's the owner of the collective.
Co-owner.
Co-owner.
Okay,
Yeah.
co-owner. Co-owner. Well, he's the only one here now, Joe. Jesus Christ. Of the collective, a wellness space and yoga with a cafe and all kinds of other things.
Yeah.
Welcome to the show, Luke Andersen. Welcome, brother.
Thank you very much.
You're
Thank you
welcome.
both
No
for having me on.
Oh, no problem, dude.
Yeah. That's you.
What the hell did you just do to your
That's
voice?
what I did right there. The wrong way. I have too many buttons. I have to condense my sound.
What number show are we on?
2.
What number are we on?
So, yeah.
101.
You want to switch? All right, then. Shut up.
I like my Kona.
Yeah, I know you do. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So,
Yeah. Thanks for having me on.
Luke, everybody always, when I said you were coming on this month, a lot of people said, "Oh, this is gonna be entertaining. Oh, this is gonna be a good show. He's a character and very outgoing, and you don't know what you're getting yourself into." Why are people saying that about you?
Well, it really depends on the questions you ask.
Uh,
Oh, sweet. I like this part. This is gonna be fun.
I can make it as tame as you want, or we can go down some crazy rabbit holes. It's up to you.
Oh, he likes the rabbit holes.
yes, I do. Let's get busy. Let's dive in.
I'd rather do rabbit holes while I'm drinking, but
No, you're not. Now you're sober.
I know, I'm sober and I
Learn how to
gotta
contain yourself.
now I
sir.
gotta remember everything. Shit.
Well, I know you're going to ask me some questions, but I just had to get this out of the way.
Go ahead.
What's the deal with your guys' name?
Well, my whole take on the idea of the name of the whole podcast was from being open with yourself. Your third eye opens up. You get knowledge and truth. Well, I thought you were recording me on your phone.
No. I'm typing.
And not only that, just when we have the show, we want people to be open, like your third eye should be.
Absolutely.
So that I think that's probably where I got it from the most.
And then the theorem, is this like a play on words, like truth serum, but truth theorem? And theorem is like proof positive, right? Something you have to prove.
Yes.
Right? So
Yes.
it's multi-layered.
Yep.
Baked in.
Yep.
I picked up on that.
Damn, that's deep. That why you
There
do
you,
it?
yeah, that's pretty much why it was. Yeah. It's a play of words, theorem, serum. Yep. So
Awesome.
But-
Okay.
But people did ask us, if you ever had to, would you shorten that or change it or anything like that?
Hell no.
We said yeah for the right price.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. that's a truthful
We
answer.
said yeah for the right price.
yeah, yeah. So and just to think about it, I mean, it's from the heart. I mean, this whole idea is from the heart, and then just to get it out there and going, it
Yeah.
raises a lot of eyebrows, and people are like, what is this about?
Yeah.
Is this all about conspiracy theories or
Yeah, sure.
things of that nature?
That was my first
yeah.
thought.
So I mean, a lot of people have said that to us. So I mean, but it's not. It's just being open with yourself, open with the idea of who you are.
Yeah. It's
And
higher truths.
Yeah, and letting people know who you are on a podcast that people help people to understand the people that we're interviewing.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's
I
why
really like it.
That's why it's kind of hard when people ask, when I ask them to come on, people are like, what's the name of your podcast?
I love the idea. I love the
I went,
idea of it.
Third Eye
Yeah.
Truth Theorem.
it's a mouthful to say,
Yeah, it is.
and people get it wrong often. But
Sure.
that's okay. I mean, once you say it over and over to yourself, it'll come natural. So I don't know. It was hard for me at first.
No, I like it a lot,
Yeah.
and it's unique too.
It is unique.
Yeah.
It is unique.
Yeah.
Then people said, "Why would you change it to?" Just our last names.
Also, that's so simple, man.
I know the Gill and Hill show.
Well, but think about how many people say that they're going to start a podcast.
Yeah.
Right. Very few do.
And that is true, because a lot of people say they're going to do something and never follow through with it.
Right.
And once we started this back in 2020, and I was getting all the stuff together. I mean, all the equipment, all the tables, the chairs, things of that nature.
Table's the same.
Table's the same. Everything else has changed. And I showed Scott a picture of it yesterday. He's like, "Oh man, that's totally different."
It is.
But just I don't know, getting it all together. And once COVID hit, it was like time to take action now. And I had everything set up, ready to go. Just didn't know when I was going to start.
Yeah.
That was perfect.
That's when he was recording and he was editing.
Yeah, I hated that.
He was
Okay,
recording and editing.
yeah.
We never showed it. I mean, there's like 20 shows that we never seen, never heard.
Well, we were here to do it, but we just nobody else has seen it.
Yeah.
So they're in the archives.
Sure.
I still have them downloaded and saved.
They're the lost.
I know
The lost episodes.
Yeah,
there we go. Yep.
There you
They're
go.
the
I like
lost
it.
There you go.
episodes. I think he started it at 21. I think.
Yeah.
When it was
Yeah.
just him.
When we started doing it live.
See, that's unique right there too.
Episode 21.
Yeah.
It's all these little unique anomalies that
Yep.
make us who we are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We're unique.
I
Yeah.
like the idea of being unique.
What are you wearing?
Oh, cardigan, man.
I should wear mine.
No, that's why I didn't call you.
I should wear mine. Look at we could be matching,
No.
Mr. Rogers.
Yep. It's a beautiful day.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful day.
You're in good hands with Allstate too, man. So
Is it play on words now? Again?
yes, it is.
Calling me the Allstate guy?
Yes, because of your voice. So Luke.
It's a good voice.
Thank you. I
Yeah,
appreciate it.
it's good.
Oh, thanks. How you doing?
Yeah.
No,
Don't embarrass yourself,
Yeah.
Joe.
Too late for that. You guys don't know me that well, guys, huh? So, Luke, where'd you come from? I mean, what town did you grow up in? High school, stuff like that. Start off from there and let people know who the hell you are.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if they'll know who I am from all that background, but you guys might be able to get to know me after a couple hours. I was born here in the St. Joe Hospital. I grew up in Benton Harbor, Fairplain, and then I went to Bridgman for high school.
Oh, the bees.
They're the Bees, yeah.
Yeah. I
Which
knew
is
that.
kind of funny because I wound up in the Seabees in the military. So,
That's
you know,
right. You
it's
did
just a
go
lot
in
of
the thing.
bee symbology in my life.
Scott, he was just perked up. He was just telling me about his military background,
Really? Awesome.
and I was amazed by the stuff he did in the military. So,
Oh, actually, so people know who Scott is. He's our new.
Sorry, Scott.
He's our new.
behind the scenes.
He's
Yeah.
our new
So,
back guy.
Yeah, he's helping out with the lovely camera view and
Cameras. So if the cameras suck, just let us know.
No, that won't
Then
be-
he can work on
I
it.
taught him well.
This is
so.
his first day.
What service were you in, Scott?
Army,
Army, outstanding. What was your MO?
13 Fox Observer.
Okay, right on. Were you overseas?
Yes, sir.
Outstanding. I did a little bit of time in the sandbox myself.
It's an experience in itself for sure.
Yep. And by the way, if you decide that you want to join any more wars, everything that we learned, just throw it out the window, because we're in modern warfare now.
Yep.
All those are just bad habits.
That's honestly,
I've got some people
I
I know
like
on
how
the
you
front
said it.
lines
Yeah.
in Ukraine.
Yeah.
Yep, and they tell me some stories.
Oh man.
Yep.
Oh man.
Yep. They're like, everything you learned, they're just bad habits now. So,
Holy crap.
yep, we're in a whole new era. I'm not planning on getting in any more wars personally. So,
What were you?
I was the CB. It's construction battalions. So we're kind of our own thing. We're technically Navy, but
Okay.
yeah, like I'll never see a ship.
Never.
No, I'd much rather much rather go to war for the Rothschilds again than to be on a ship.
That says a lot right there. That says a lot right there.
Yeah, that makes sense. So you went to high school. Where'd you go to college, or did you go straight into?
No, I was similar to Katie. I was 17 when I joined delayed entry program, and went
That's
in.
right, yeah.
Yep. as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
So I graduated in 2007, and that entire 6 years, I was fiending to go and get some get back.
Yeah.
Until I, found out what was actually going on.
So did you
But-
go to the mall and go shopping and tell your mom when you came back that you joined the?
No, my parents already knew all about it. Yeah, they were like, "Don't do it, don't do it."
They were trying to get you not to do it.
Yeah, they're like, there's all these, and of course they were right.
Yeah.
There's all these things you don't understand, and ultimately, I'm very glad I did it.
Yeah.
It gave me a lot of structure that I needed. But what do you got here?
No, he must have spelled the name wrong.
Did I really?
Everybody spells my last name wrong.
Oh damn.
It's the Danish version. It's Andreasen, and don't even try to say it
Okay,
because I can't even say it right.
I stand corrected.
No,
My bad.
I don't care.
they just pretty much said heads up, last name Andersen.
I don't even bother correcting people.
How do you say it?
Andreasen.
I'm never gonna get that.
Yeah. Well, I happen to work with Danish Special Forces
Yeah.
in
That is kinda
Afghanistan,
cool.
and they told me I was saying my name wrong.
Wrong, really?
So yeah,
I like how you.
I was
said
like,
it.
I'm Andreasen, and
Uh,
he said, no, it's Andreasen, and I'm like, I
How
don't
did
know.
you feel about that?
I'll get as close as I can.
Hey,
That's
correct.
great. I don't
Yeah.
care.
All
Dude, I
right.
can't.
I don't
roll
give
my
a fuck.
R's. I can't never roll my R's. I took Spanish, and the only reason I want to know because
Rojo.
the only reason I took it so I can understand what people are talking bad about me.
All I can say in Spanish very well is lo siento, mi no habla español.
Oh, I don't speak Spanish.
You don't speak English either.
Funny thing is, I know how to say dos viejitos, muchacho, or senderita.
I'm
Sí.
waiting for you to roll.
Cervezas.
Yeah. Or yeah, beer.
Sí, sí.
I want to hear you roll your R's.
Can't. Never could. Well, I'm not gonna try.
He wants to hear you try.
I know. You just want to make fun of me. Kiss my ass.
Button for that.
Kiss my, I know. Oh, is that you? That's a thank you. Oh shit, that kind of creeped me out. What the hell's that?
Yeah.
Who took my name?
See?
I know. I'm not used to having
Yeah.
someone on that side.
Yeah.
So you went. So you didn't after graduation. You took how long off?
It wasn't very long. It was only a couple of months while my parents were desperately trying to talk me out of it. And then
Were you already enlisted at
It-
that time?
it was the delayed entry program.
Okay.
So, there's just that little buffer. I had committed myself
Yeah.
to it. And so I was just going to the center. I mean, it was actually at the mall at the time. So yeah, kind of, yeah, I was going to the mall.
But
Sorry.
you didn't go shopping and
Didn't
buy,
go shopping.
and
no.
buy things like
That's not
Katie-
really
like
my
Katie
thing.
did. Yeah.
No. So I was going over there running,
Yeah.
just already doing the calisthenics. I was already a bit of a, bit of a crackhead on the calisthenics at the time. So I was I never made it to state, but I was a decent swimmer.
Yeah.
Yep. And I just I had really, really intense anxiety issues, performance issues. So I had tested in under 530s on the 500s, which is a really good time. And I was working up to around a 515 to 513 pace, which would have gotten me into state
Yeah.
easy, qualifying. And I just projectile vomited. It's before regionals in
Are
during
you being serious?
yeah in the pool
Oh, in the
Wow.
in the pool while I was swimming. I just I had so much anxiety. Now I know if I had the tools that I have now, I know that that's a superpower, having that much anxiety. So anybody that's watching this that struggles with it too, I know it sounds perverse, but it is literally a superpower in waiting. It means you have so much energy in your body and it just doesn't know how to be channeled yet. So if you can learn how to channel it, I don't know if you've ever seen that. What's that movie, Wanted, I think it's called?
Yeah.
Yeah. With the I believe I can see the future. That 9 Inch Nails song. Yeah. That was 100%. They're telling you some truth in that movie.
Wow.
It might not be to that level,
Yeah.
but
That's
it is.
understandable.
It is the truth.
So when you did get enlisted,
Mhm.
actually, I'm back up from it. What year did you graduate?
I graduated 07. Yep.
So,
So I was in boot camp by May of 08.
so you I'm trying to think when my cousins graduated. But they both graduated St. Joe, but they went to Bridgman. You know the Simons?
No, I was like
Bothered
very people didn't want to really interact with me in high school, so
Why is
I didn't have a
outside?
ton of friends.
Yeah.
You know, I was
Kept
just
to yourself.
I kept to myself. I was an only child, you know, like, and I just,
only child.
you know, I was not socialized properly. It was more of a personal choice more than anything. You know, I don't like cliques. I enjoy being just a regular human being with everybody I meet. You know, I see the inherent value in every single person.
Yeah.
So
I get that. I
Yeah.
get that. I was friends with everybody, every single clique. I could always I always said I'm a chameleon, where I could
Yeah.
always talk to anybody, get along with somebody, and then everybody in that group. Then I can just leave that group and go over hang out with this group. And,
Yeah.
yeah. I
And
understand.
Bridgman wasn't that bad though. I mean,
No.
there's a small community, like everybody was actually really nice, you know, and there wasn't like a really mean girl, mean
Yeah.
boy class or anything like that. It was just, I'm weird as shit. So, I mean, I totally understand.
Did you have long hair and dressed like a stoner or anything
No.
like that? Or
No, nothing like that.
Nothing like that. Okay.
No, I've actually still never had alcohol, you know,
Really?
like, yeah. So I'm pretty clean cut. I was extremely clean cut at the time too, but
You just said you never had alcohol
no, not a drop,
ever in your life?
not once.
Good for you.
Big shout out to my parents. So on Saturday, I'm going to present their 20-year coins to them, actually. So they've been sober. And the reason I've decided that is because my entire family is all,
Yeah.
addicts.
Okay. That's why.
Yeah.
That makes more sense why you don't, because same thing with my daughter. She said she doesn't really want to drink as much. Because she saw how it messed up her mom
Mhm.
and how I was when I was drinking, how goofy and funny, and how I was when I come home when since she was in college, she's in college
Mhm.
and stuff like that. So she said, I don't want to drink that much because I see you guys. I don't want to. I'm like, good. I
Well,
turned you off
Makes
alcohol.
sense, though.
and
Makes
it can
sense.
be
Yeah.
like, you know, it can be a useful social lubricant. It can be a good way to kind of hit like a release valve for people, you know, like I'm not in this position where I'm judging people at all. Like I've been down in the trenches with people and worked with people on very deep levels. And, you know, I learned a long time ago, I don't know where I learned this, but maybe it's just an intuitive thing to like really try to understand people. And my mind, I don't know, it's just like a deep, deep empathy that I've always had where I feel what the other person's feeling. And I just can't help myself but try to like get into their position, in their perspective.
So you're a true empath.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So
God, I wish I had that feeling again. I lost it. Actually, no, I lost being an empath because of all the people that passed away in my life.
Yeah.
I just turned it off.
yeah.
I don't want to feel pain anymore. I see
Yeah.
the good in everything.
That's an okay reaction too.
because
you know.
I see the good in everybody. I always don't find a negative thing about what's going on. If like I had a DUI. Okay. It happens.
Yeah,
Well, I don't care.
does happen.
I mean, it happens. I'll move on. I still have my health. I still have my daughter's health. I still have a roof over my head.
Yeah.
I have a job. I can still go to it, pay my bills. There's nothing wrong with it. I'll get my license back when I get it back.
Yeah.
And everything else in my life. And I don't see a negative thing about it. Yes, I'm the one that messed up, but I learned my wrong and I'll never do that again. But my thing was, I don't see a bad in it now because I don't want to think negative on it.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, and that's a really powerful
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Like if you create a negative echo chamber around a topic, then yeah, you fucked yourself on that topic.
Yeah,
For sure.
Like anybody or some people out there, you could probably admit to this. Like I'll say, I don't know. I'm trying to think of some of them. What some people say. I'll say like, it was like you said, it was a nice sunny day. Well, it's still cold outside and it was windy and I
Find
was
it negative and
freezing. And they
everything.
find
Yeah.
something negative about that. I said, but it was a perfectly good sunny day that had the nice in the sun. You feel the vitamin D
Yeah.
on your face. I mean, that felt good to me. I went,
Probably want to rephrase that.
shut up.
That's what she said.
You always think before that one. But it's always funny that when people always go straight to the negative.
Sure.
And I
Yeah.
don't know why.
Yeah.
Well, I value both people. You know, I value the negative people too. And it's also a good reminder. And I kind of see our personas and our brains more as algorithms. and they can be adjusted, they can be hacked, and they respond to input and feedback. So, a person that's negative, they're just performing the function of their brain. They're just they're associating themselves with their persona. They're associating themselves with the mask that we wear, which is our ego, which is what we think of ourselves. It's not our true selves. This is material stuff that expires at some point. So therefore it's not real.
Yeah.
So we think of it as real, but that's what its job is. It's to point out negative things and try and fix them. So if you get that combination of anxiety that has nowhere to go and your brain is doing its job and you don't have anywhere to channel that, then it's just going to be a negative feedback loop.
A lot of people say that someone like you doesn't think negative all the time. Someone like me, I don't know. James, do you think
I get plenty of negative thoughts.
I have negative thoughts. I just don't think them.
I just try not to indulge too much
or act on those negative thoughts.
Right.
People always say people like that don't think negative thoughts are like that are healers. Pretty much they want to heal and make that person not think that way anymore and try to not change their mind, but see a different outlook in their life and everything else.
Yeah. To me, healing is about it's more about the hero's journey. It's about confronting the dragons, confronting the darkness. So it's an integration. So true healing isn't you'll never heal if you ignore the problem. If there's a real issue, you have to fully understand it. And it's kind of like a lot of the problems in the world, right? Like most people want to be ignorant on the surface level of the really bad things in our society because they just don't have the tools to be able to handle the truth. You can't handle the truth, and it's true.
I don't want the truth.
Yeah, and that's okay because they're
no.
And that's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine that they can't handle it, and that's like when I was on my truth journey and in my discovery phase, while I was in the military, I found out about some things that, I'm not going to talk about, but I found out about how the world really works. And that was extremely tragic to me at the time. It was very difficult to overcome that. And as a result, I wanted to impress upon the world what the truth was, at least from my limited perspective, right? So that created a lot of schism and a lot of problems in my life and the people around me that had to deal with me because my means of communication, in my mind, it was coming from a good place, but it was really unresolved trauma from waking up to the truth so fast. So, and I think we all get exactly what we need. So, it was meant for me to find out in the way that I found out and, to react in the way that I reacted so I could come to this point that I'm at now. So, but I can understand the people. I can understand the people that aren't awake at all to anything. I can understand the people that, see a lot of the truths and a lot of the bad things, and they're trying to shake everybody awake. And I'm just kind of in this point now where I'm like, I value all of you people, and it's whatever's going to happen is going to happen
regardless.
Yeah.
Now, when you say the good, you have to deal with the good and the bad. That's kind of a balance that we have to deal with on a daily basis, right? Wouldn't you say so?
Yeah. I mean, we simplify things. We live in a dualistic world, right? From source is unity, right? People call it God or the universe, or even our higher self, however you want to quantify or qualify it. It's all things that exist are at that one point. The schism is within us. So like, I guess one of the better ways I could describe it is more metaphorical. There's a repeating dream that I have, every, couple of months or something. I have the same dream where I'm in this space where there's nothing. And all of a sudden this super bright light turns on. I have to turn away. It's so bright. And I look back and I see my shadow being cast. And what I get from that on a deep level, there's no words, but what I understand from that is there's no shadow without me in between the lights. So if I try to deny my own dark nature and and don't integrate it and don't respect it and understand that that's a part of me and it's just as equal as the light, then it's going to control me. And it has in the past. And the people that you see them trying to fight it, but they still have that dark nature that's guiding them. That's because they aren't giving it the respect that it deserves.
That's deep.
I didn't look at it that way,
I
but
didn't either.
that's
Well,
really
deep
good.
is dark too, right? Like if
Wow.
you go, I do a lot of free diving, and that's one of the things that I've noticed with free diving, holding your breath, right, and apnea. Going down, the deeper you go, the darker it gets.
Mhm.
But that's where all the good stuff is.
Yeah.
That's where you find out about yourself.
The unknown.
The unknown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And people are afraid of that.
Yeah.
If you think about it,
Yeah. It's scary.
especially when it comes like to things like mortality.
Yeah.
Do we go to this place
Sure.
that we covet the most, like heaven,
Right.
or this it's so scary to some people that they need something to guide them through that,
Sure.
which religion comes into play,
Absolutely.
and
Hmm.
anything that they find relaxing to help them get through it. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And it's, I don't know if there's a wrong answer necessarily.
No, there's
You know, I don't know if there's a right answer either, but all I can say is my experiences, but I don't know if that experience is going to relate to anybody else. You know, maybe in some ways, maybe archetypically, but you know, I don't know if the spiritual experiences I've had, for instance, are just machinations in my own mind, or if it's real, like a real truth that I, you know, because what I brought back with me is just a shade of the experiences that I've had. So, and I could never explain it to you either. Never in a
No.
way that you could understand
Right.
it.
I would
So-
understand that. You could never explain anything that you really went through
Right.
in your own words. You can explain it a little bit, but we wouldn't probably understand it.
Yeah.
Or we'll just look at you like, oh, that's nice. That's
Let's
good
move
job.
into that experience with you at the same time.
Right. And that's why we are the persona that we are and having the experience that we are.
Yeah.
So, I mean, some people believe that we are simply nodes of God, experiencing limited experiences for a purpose. You know, you could look at it more cynically, like the hermetics, right? I don't know if you guys have studied hermetics at all, but
No, I've heard of that.
yeah, so and I'm really simplifying things here, but the basic idea is that the God of this world, which in some ways would align with like Christianity, the God of this world is a lesser God or a Satan type figure that has trapped us, and that we keep getting tricked, and that when we die, there's a Jesus, there's a grandma, somebody that you really trust that
Yeah.
pretends to be that person, but it's really not. It's a gatekeeper. And they convince you to come back here and keep reincarnating. So, you know, that's an interesting take. I personally am at that point where I don't know. So I'm generally a pretty like trusting, positive person. So it doesn't really seem to affect me. So I don't see that as absolute truth, but it could be. It could be something to keep in mind when you're
Yeah.
up at those pearly gates, I guess.
Yeah.
But
Wow.
I'm never gonna die.
yeah, I just can't tell.
Only the good die young, and I haven't been that good. So
Well,
be here
I guess
for-
there's a reason I'm still here too.
I'll
yeah.
be here for a while.
I like this place still.
I'll be
Yeah.
here for a while, so it's okay. So after all that, when you got enlisted, where'd you go for boot camp? And
Yeah,
everything
that escalated really fast. I mean it.
does.
It usually does.
Jeez.
Takes a turn here.
else?
and
We
there.
get it out of a lot of people, a lot of weird stuff. So
Yeah. So after I got in, so I actually joined in the reserves initially when I was in boot camp. So I actually passed the nuclear exam to get into nuke. You know, and they were really trying to get people at that point into nuke. So they were waving bonuses and like, you know, oh, you're so smart and blah blah blah. You can go into this and you know, once I got in, I was like, I don't want to do this. I want to be a SEAL. You know, I'm like 17. I'm a good swimmer. I had
Yeah.
no clue what
that
that
makes
meant.
sense on that one, though.
Yeah, you know,
It
like
did.
I watch Navy SEAL movies and stuff. I thought, yeah, let's
That was
do
the
that.
coolest thing ever, right?
Yeah, and when I was in boot camp, I did you know, like I ended up doing a few weeks of the pre-buds, they call it, where you they just smoke you with calisthenics. I was already doing that to myself.
Yeah.
Like I was like, oh well, this is. I mean, thank God I didn't end up in the SEALs. Like I would have been such a liability. I
Oh, dude.
question everything. You know, it would have been terrible.
It would have-
But
I heard the SEALs really kick your ass, though.
yeah, you know, and that part wasn't too bad, but I mean, I was all about myself at the time. I mean, I lied about my eyesight to get in. I was wearing contacts in boot camp. Like, I just had no regard for rules whatsoever, which is funny that I was in the military, of course.
Wow, that makes sense for me.
He knows the people like me that were in there. Yeah.
God, I would have done perfect in that place.
Yeah. If I was tougher, maybe I could have been a good Delta operator, but you know, I'm not that tough, so it's fine. But yeah. So he our instructor, you know, had seen when I got out of the pool and I was freaking out because I had lost one of my. They made us do swimming without the goggles, and I lost one of my contacts.
Oh.
And they found out, and they chewed me a new ass, and you know, I was crying like a little bitch. And you know, that was the best thing for me though, because I wound up in the CBs. They taught me how to use tools. You know, I didn't know how to like really do any of that kind of stuff. They taught me to build shit. I got to blow shit up. I still got to use guns, and I got to work with SEAL Team 5 in Iraq. And I didn't have to do any of the shit that traumatized them or killed them. So it was great. It was kind of a win-win-win.
Yeah.
You know, there's like a saying that I've never heard anybody say, right? I've never heard a woman say this. You know what was a good idea? Marrying that Marine or marrying that SEAL. I've never heard a woman say that.
And why is that?
Because they're fucked up. They're fucked up, man.
Did you not know that, or do you
Yeah,
just
I'm just making sure. I just wanted him to say it.
Oh, I was gonna say, where are you going with it? Because I already know the answer to that.
Yep. And you can talk to my partner now, Adrian. Like,
Yeah.
she can tell you I'm fucked up, you know? So, yeah.
So, how long were you in it for? 2 years?
About 8 years.
You were in it for 8 years.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. And I've been out for, let's see, what is it, 11 or 12 years now?
So you're out for 8 years. I'm gonna go backwards a little bit. And how old are you right now?
I'm gonna be 37 in June.
So 37.
Mhm.
Wow, half his life he was in it.
Oh,
Not
I was
half.
in for 8
Yeah,
years.
in it for years. But
8. Yeah.
when you got out, you
Mhm.
saw some crazy, wild shit. Everything else looks like you're still good on your personality and everything else. So you don't have what's those letters?
PTSD.
Thank you.
I just call it nostalgia.
Yeah, and you don't drink.
Right.
Most people, when they get back and they see all that wild, crazy, freaky shit, they do some kind of drugs, drink,
Mm-hmm.
or have that.
Yeah.
And you don't have any of that.
Well,
that I could see.
no, I mean, I did dabble in some, you know, as far as my work is concerned, I never did anything, and this is all just hypotheticals, just for, you know, disclaimer wise, personal protection.
No
But
problem.
yeah, no, I definitely tried some things because I was not in a good place
Okay. So
when I got out.
Okay.
Yeah, I was not in a good place. And the reason that I do what I do now is because I learned all those techniques and now I share them with people.
I like that.
Had a number of combat veterans come see me over the past few years that were suicidal, you know, like some people even with like guns in their mouths,
I
like
believe
that
it.
morning.
Wow.
And they're all still with us so far.
That's good.
So
Good to
yeah.
hear.
And there's a lot of really simple things that are extremely hard to see in the moment. So ice baths, breathing, you know, fixing some shit in your life, changing your perspective, meditation, you know, getting off of whatever substance you're using to hide it. Because the way I look at substances is they could be in some cases they could be very helpful in the case of like a you know, maybe a type of dose of LSD or, you know, whatever, MDMA, whatever a lot of veterans are using that seem to have really good results, or mushrooms or something. But in the case of like weed or alcohol, generally you're covering something up. Now, short term, that could be a good thing if that's what keeps you from killing yourself.
Yeah.
You know, great, you give yourself a little bit more time. Maybe you needed to mask that. It's so powerful and so raw, you just don't feel like you can, you know, stomach it at the time. And I'm not going to judge you for that. So you know, I was convinced to try you know, cannabis and things like that. And in the beginning it did help. It was huge, you know. And yeah, I don't necessarily I don't think I regret anything in my life, but I would say if I could do it over again, you know, I would be a lot more intelligent, because I'm such an addictive personality type that even, you know, people say like you can't get addicted to weed. I mean, I get it. I'm addicted to ice baths, dude. Like I can get addicted to fucking anything.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there was a couple of points. Luckily, I've developed enough kind of stopping points to make it so it didn't completely control my life. But once it got close, it got
Good for
very
you.
close.
No, good for you
Yeah.
though. I mean, but like I was saying, but you did have your problems, but
Yeah.
you faced them and everything else,
Right.
and you achieved pass. I have friends that were in the army, and to this day, he still has to go in or put earmuffs or plug his ears for fireworks. He
Mhm.
has to can't have his back towards anything or tap him on the shoulder. You have to basically come up around him, talk to him in person because he still flips out. And he's been out for 8 years.
Yeah, that stuff's
And-
still in my nervous system. So, you know, I mean, I have not broken anybody's ribs in quite a while, but I have broken people's hands and ribs in the past. So, but hasn't happened in a while. But I mean, if somebody really freaks me out, you know, and I'm not expecting it or something, I don't know what the fuck could happen. So.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, I understand that and I respect that out of that.
A lot of people don't understand that going through something like that triggers you to do something in return.
Mm-hmm.
That's they went through some powerful stuff that really doesn't set well with them if they come back to the civilization.
Yeah, it's tough, and it's tough for a lot of people too. Even the guys that are like really affected, like they can't have like they have no social skills anymore because of it. They still will tell you like it was some of the best times of their life, and I still, you know, have a lot of that where, you know, there's just something about you feel very powerful in those positions, you know, and you know Scott, right? Yeah, Scott can attest to this too. Is like, you know,
He was shaking his head.
yeah, and you're and if you are aware of what's going on there, like, and you kind of understand like this war we were fighting. I mean, we were kind of like we were dumbed down a lot so that we wouldn't be so overpowering to the enemy. I mean, if you wanted to kill it, like we have the best military in the world. We were doing multiple things there, you know, and we can talk all day about the higher level reasons why we were there, but just for our purposes and the experience of the soldiers, the Marines, yeah, I mean, we were having the best time of our lives. You know, I mean, we were trained for a purpose. We felt very empowered. I mean, everybody around you is your buddy, and we all have guns, and it's like super fun. Like it's like that little kid part of you. I mean, obviously, if you aren't one of these 2% of the psychos that are in the military that really enjoy the killing, you know, you have to deal with that reality of killing people, but you know, especially in their own homeland, you know, or God forbid they happen to be children shooting at you or something, you know, and that's a whole nother layer. But aside from that elements of it, I mean, you feel powerful. It's a very, you know, people are, how can I raise my testosterone? You should sign up for war. No, I'm just kidding. But
well, you think about it, a lot of people go in just for that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, you have that
I've met some of those guys.
That
yeah.
I can do this for
I can kill people.
Yeah.
And I won't go to jail and I'll get paid for it.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. I know some of those guys. Yeah. Mm-hmm. They exist among us.
Right. As to this day. And
there's
some of those guys
for sure people in this town.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And some get put in the police forces too.
Yeah.
And that's the scary part right there.
You guys do like to shake the boat, huh?
Actually, I was gonna say
I
ice.
don't mind stirring the pot a little bit.
I do too. Yeah.
I was gonna say ice, but it's okay.
Yeah. Just ice. Justice.
Right.
Yeah.
I was gonna say they've come back, become cops, or
that too.
Yeah.
Well, and again, it comes back to that kind of inherently seeing the value in every person, understanding like we're all just children that grew up, and we're doing the best that we can in our circumstances. Even the evil elites that are in the Epstein files, right, and all these kinds of people, like they grew up in elite families, they were abused. You know, it's like they're just continuing that cycle. They're only doing, every person ultimately only does what they know is right, or you know, in the case of somebody that becomes ultimately hedonistic, they've been stripped of their humanity. And that's a tragic place, you know, and unfortunately they are impressing that on other people and keeping the cycle going, which is how it feeds itself. But ultimately, you know, we're all just doing the best that we can. So, you know, I not that you shouldn't seek justice,
True.
but you know, you can it takes away the fear. You know, it takes away the people that are afraid of the cops or the people that are afraid of the criminals.
Yeah.
Like you see the humanity in the person. It takes away the fear. And I think that's where the healing starts.
I like that.
Now, is that a tough thing to do, to reverse that cycle? I mean, as far as you went through some tragic stuff that in your life, and being able to shake that and turn to a better person, or being able to you know, take the good with the bad, is that easy to turn
You're gonna
around?
have to want it though. You're gonna have to want that. I mean, in your body and your soul. I think you're gonna have to want to change the way you are.
Yeah. It's almost like the highest truths are all paradoxical, right? So I don't know if you guys are familiar with the story of the Buddha, you know, and how he was a prince, and he's, you know, he goes, okay, well, he's a prince first, and then he says, oh, the truth is suffering. You know, he meets these gurus that this is how you find it. In the beginning, you know, it was so different from his experience, and it felt like it meant something because it was suffering and it was hard. And he had to go through that, right? And he goes through all this suffering and he feels like he's becoming enlightened, but he never achieves enlightenment through suffering. And where does he find it? He finds it under the Bodhi tree. And by the way, he was, you know, there's another guy, Jesus, that dry fasted for 40 days too. But he dry fasts for 40 days under the Bodhi tree. And he's, you know, gets all these temptations and it's machinations of his own mind, you know, and demon even means thought form, evil, you know, evil spirits. No, negative thought form is what it really means. So the actual meaning is supposed to be a projection of your own psyche, of your own consciousness. So he's presented with all of the darkest elements of himself. And then he realizes, like, he's the laughing Buddha. He realizes all that suffering he went through was totally pointless. But also, like, was it? Because would you have gotten there if it wasn't for that? It's like in the Matrix that she goes like, "Don't worry about the vase," and he goes, "What vase?" And then he like knocks it over. You know, oh shit. You know, like I am the one. And you know, but it's like she totally fucked with him. And by the way, Neo was the bad guy in that movie. I don't know if you guys are aware of that.
Yes.
Yeah. So I know that's like a really, really pretentious way to answer the question, but that's kind of how I see it. Is like, was it hard? You know, did you need to want it? I mean, I can say no, but that would negate the experience that I went through. You know, much like how the Buddha says, no, you don't need to suffer. But you did suffer, asshole. You know, like, you know, you did, though.
He still suffered. He still starved.
And I kind of enjoy the suffering now. You know, it's like when you're going through it, especially if you don't have tools and you're not aware of what the suffering is for, I mean, you're going to kill yourself. You want to exit. You want to exit the game. But in retrospect, you can totally be in that position where it's much easier now to say, oh, yeah, I love the suffering. I'm wired a little backwards too, so yeah.
I get that. Sometimes I think I am myself. So with you coming back from that 8 years later, so now you're coming back home. Did you come back here, or where'd you
yeah,
go
so
after you got out?
So I stayed in the reserve, so it was back and forth, and I was doing a lot of you know, going to the reserve bases and things like that, and I was taking extra trainings, and you know, I got to do a bunch of like specialty trainings and survival schools and things like that, because in my mind I was still like, you know, when I'm 21 I'm going to get LASIK and I'm going to go and become a SEAL. Yeah, I was still thinking that. And then I went to Iraq, and then I was like, oh no, I don't want to do that, you know. Like, so and a lot of that was because of the reality check. I think if I didn't have the experience that I did, I probably would have gone through with that. And even if it would have taken me 3, 4, 5 cycles to get to become a SEAL, like I'm kind of like I would have done it. But once I found out, you know, I don't know how far in the rabbit hole you guys want to go, but
Let's go.
but this is just my genuine experience, right? So when I was working with SEAL Team 5, there was a particular group from a particular country that's supposed to be our greatest ally, that I worked with, their special forces. So again, mind you, I was a CB, like I do construction for them, like I built them an obstacle course. In return, I got to do a bunch of cool experiences, like go to the range with the SEALs every day, which was super cool. You know, learn how to shoot sniper rifles and stuff. And, you know, it was fun. And this particular country, special forces instructors taught us a knife fighting course, which is really also a lot of fun. And, you know, I felt some genuine camaraderie with them, but there was some interesting things over the course of a couple of months working with them, some extreme racism that popped up, and some extreme like racism against myself, even, that was just so like they were just seething beneath the surface against Americans. And I'm like, these are supposed to be the people that we are like helping. You know, Israel, by the way, if you didn't catch on with that.
I knew exactly what you're saying.
And they started, there was multiple times where they were bragging about certain operations where they were involved in killing Americans. And one of those operations was 9/11. And they were taking credit for it. These assholes were getting drunk and talking about it.
Wow.
Yeah. And that you know, like my brain kind of broke, because normally I'm the type of person to be like, what are you guys talking about? You know, like you're fucking with me, you know, something like that. But I knew that they were like the way that they were talking to each other and allowing us to hear it. And when I tried to talk to some of the like, I tried talking to the SEALs that I was working with, and they didn't want to talk. Most of them are dead, by the way, now. So, and you know, they didn't talk about it, and we talked about like we were having fun. Like we were, you know, like they were up on the, like mortars would come down and they'd be playing golf on top, you know, like just stupid shit. Like, and nothing ever bothered them, but they would not talk about this topic, you know, and it ate me up, man. Cause that's a big reason why I joined. It's like, I wanted to get back, you know, these damn Muslims like did this shit, you know,
A lot of people did do it.
yeah, you know, and I bought into all the lies and stuff, and I thought, like, you know, even though I never developed any racism, I thought like, this is a problem. This radical Islam is a problem. And it's like, yeah, maybe that is true. You know, radical anything is a problem, but you know, the seat of power is not what we've been told. And that is a really, really fucked up place to be, especially if you're in the active war zone. So yeah, that ate me up. And I ended up going on more tours after that too. I ended up going to Afghanistan as well. And, you know, like I was like dead inside doing those tours. So, you know, like, yeah, I don't even know how to equate it or explain it, but it was either go through with that, do everything I can not to get involved in some kind of situation where I would end up killing somebody in their own country, or, you know, like go to jail potentially for not doing my duty. You know, it's a very hard place to be. And ultimately, you know, I'm dissatisfied with going overseas. But it is what it is. So, you know, I guess I kind of bitched out on that one.
Oh, that's fine, man. That's fine. That is a interesting take on the whole what you just explained. I've had my thoughts on that whole thing. I've seen tons of video clips and read plenty of articles on this. This is something that's been going on for the last 4 or 5 decades. That they've
it goes back a lot further, but yeah, in its current iteration, yeah.
So with that being said, I don't want to say I was right, but I knew something was fishy with that whole thing.
Yeah.
And for you to confirm something like that, because you saw it firsthand, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. You know, and yeah, it's just yeah, it's a thing that more people than ever are realizing now. You know, I've had to live with this since 2011.
Yeah.
So, and I mean, I tried telling, you know, I remember having a conversation right at the end of my term You know, and I had knee issues, brain injury, all sorts of things, and they were trying to get me to get surgery on the knee and, you know, and the shoulder and stuff. But yeah, I was not about to get surgery from a Navy doc. That's for sure. Yeah, maybe saving your life on the battlefield, but not surgery. Yeah, so I was just you know, I was gonna get processed out anyways, but you know, this commander was like, I mean, he actually turned off the radio when I tried having this conversation with him. And oh, I was court-martialed twice as well for finding corruption within my unit, trying to bring it up and getting like
you brought it up,
steamrolled.
Wow.
Well, so like, you know, there was human trafficking on my first tour, like, you know, for prostitution, not children, but trying to bring women onto the base and, you know, things like that, and bringing in booze. There's a certain amount of fuckery I'm willing to overlook, you know, and these are people that are like higher ups in charge of us too. But at a certain point, I'm just like, you know, fuck you. You know, and that's just my rebellious side. I'm just like, you know, I found, you know, millions of dollars of fraud going on as well. Like they're, you know, taking, you know, and it's certainly not a majority of people in the military, but there's a significant percentage of people taking advantage of taxpayers, you know, reselling air conditioning units and whatever the fuck else, you know, and finding trinkets in Saddam's palace and, you know, putting them in acetylene cases and sending them back, and then coordinating with people to, you know, torch it and grab the stuff that they stuffed in there. You know, like there's all that kind of shit going on. And, you know, I'm just like, I'm going to just throw a little monkey wrench in the cogs here. I'm going to, you know, stop this thing from happening. And, you know, like they tried everything to intimidate me, but ultimately I had enough evidence to fuck with them. And, you know, I came out with early promotes after both of those. Yeah. So, and that's just a concession from not ever backing down and just being very hard-headed, I guess. But you know, and I've learned to be able to soften the edges a little bit, and just, you don't have to go that full retard with it every time. So, but yeah, you never go full retard. But yeah. So I can't even remember where we started with that, but
actually I asked what happened after you came out of the service.
Right. So yeah, I go off on these tangents. See, this is why it could be more than 2 hours.
And the funny thing is, we got back into the service. I said, what happens after you got out of the service?
Yeah. So, but anyways, yeah, that was the thing. I was trying to stay in to some degree. You know, I felt like maybe there's something I could do. I was going back and forth on it at the time, but yeah, I mean, the commander that I was talking to, I mean, he confirmed that. Like he knew about, you know, the grip, the stranglehold that Israel has over our country. And he was like being very protective of me and was just like, don't fucking say anything, buddy. Just get out, right off in the sunset. Yeah. Don't say anything. Like, I know, we all know there's nothing we can do.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just like,
and when is that obvious? And then they tell you, look the other way.
It's not obvious to most people that are in. It's not that, unless if you worked with them.
Yeah.
But yeah, so most people in the military have no fucking clue. They're starting to now, because it's like it's infused into the culture, which I never thought I'd see in a million years.
Yeah, I didn't think I would see that ever.
Yeah. So you know, it's tough too, especially because, you know, if you know Jewish people or Israeli people and you're friends with them, and then they get hate because they're like, oh, you hang out with an anti-Semite, you know, and it's like, dude, like it doesn't even work anymore. Nobody even cares anymore.
That word is used a little too much these days.
Yeah, it's just like, if I don't like, you know, on the left, this, you know, the really extreme left, I don't like you, you're a Nazi, you know, it's like, oh, you don't, right. It doesn't matter. Nobody cares anymore. So I'm about the truth. I'm about liberating America, and I'm actually about anti-racism. I'm about bringing people together, seeing the inherent value. And even the Israelis and the people that are, you know, and the billionaires and all these people that are fucking us, it's like, they're just doing the best that they can with the way that they were brought up. They're just people too that are just operating within the system they've been brought up in. You know, they're doing the best that they can. So, you know, I think if we all kind of start going back to that, then we can kind of get rid of this whole, you know, and this whole lashing of like these words don't mean anything. It's what are we trying to really say at the end of the day? If you are like a bigoted person that is trying to be hateful, then I mean, that can be called out. You can still look at a racist person and say, I still value you as a human. It's just you have like a lower a lower thought form that you're seeing the world through. So but yeah, getting out of the military, yeah, I transitioned out, and I dove into, honestly, my body was pretty busted up at that point. So like I had some knee issues, hip, I've had 3 brain injuries, one from childhood, couple in the military, and so I have had like damage to my frontal lobe, which has affected my personality as well. And it allows me to not have any filter.
That's my problem.
So you might want to look into that, Joe. Maybe that's what happened to
Frontal
you.
lobe is all jacked up, Joe.
It could have been because of all the sports I played.
I kind of
That
felt
makes
like
more
he had
sense.
brain damage as soon as I met. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah.
It's okay. Don't make fun of me. It's like special.
Yeah. When it gets past my bedtime, I start slurring my words. But
You did not much. Yeah.
That's good.
yeah, so I was in that spot where I'm like, I got to fucking do something, and my mental state is not good. I didn't feel good about my service. Man, I had a vision for where my life could have gone, and that just was not it. When I was 17 and I saw like what I like the direction that my life was going to go, that was not where I was going to be. So I purchased like a one of those little pagoda villas over there, and I was living there. I didn't have any furniture. I was just like I actually prefer sleeping on the ground.
So you came back
But-
here.
Yeah, I came back here. Yeah, so I was trying to figure things out, and I was working some of these nuke jobs that pay really well.
Yeah.
So it's like I only had to work 6 weeks out of the year to
The
really
ice
make all
crew and
my
all that,
yeah, and I own my shit outright, so it was just like I can just spend 8 to 12 hours a day doing rehab. And I started doing all these different diets and testing things, and cleaned up the diet. Then I did this. Then it's like, oh, you got to go vegan. You got to go vegan. Is another next thing you got to do. And that, I mean, that just about fucking killed me.
You really went vegan?
I tried. I mean, it didn't work out so well for me, but yeah, so I I woke up one day, I was so inflamed, so messed up, and I suffered from a couple of vertebra being like completely like no liquid in them, right? So the herniations were so extreme.
Yeah.
And for a while there, like they didn't, and I still get like the last time I went to the chiropractor, he still said it. I don't know how you're walking, like they look at my,
Wow, that's bad. Then.
yeah, I mean, I fucking,
I don't think it's normal. No.
no, it's not normal. Yeah. Are you supposed to have discs there? Yeah. And, but I don't know if it's just like dead nerve endings, but weird pain tolerance. Like, I don't know what the hell. It's like I've got a very high pain tolerance as well. So for whatever reason, I'm walking around. I'm in pain all the time. But, but the one morning I woke up and I couldn't fucking walk. So I crawl downstairs and I'm like, what do I do? So I start researching things, and I'm looking at stuff like, man, this vegan thing's not
I need
working.
a cheeseburger.
I need fucking cheese. And that's what I did. Right. So I found, this was back in 2015, end of 2014. So, there was no carnivore diet yet, but there were fringe people talking about it. And I found some, Reddits, people talking about it. And then somebody had a link to, this TLC, you guys know the channel TLC.
Yeah.
There was a My Strange Addiction episode where the guy was eating raw meat. And I was like,
I think I've seen something like that.
what the fuck is this?
So you ate raw meat?
I did. Yeah. So the guy that was living at my place at the time, he had a package of ground beef in there, and I just fucking ate it. I was just like, and I fucking came back online overnight.
No shit.
Yeah. So, my mom told me too, I guess as a kid, I used to try and sneak raw steak. Every time she was prepping the steak, I would try and fucking steal it like a little savage, you know?
I'm
So-
thinking you put fava beans on this.
Yeah.
Hello, Clarice.
I know, that's what I was thinking in my head.
Mm. Yeah, now you guys know me. So, yeah. But yeah, no, I mean, I did since then. So for the past decade, I've experimented with all sorts of different, you know, super low or no carb, carnivore, even raw carnivore diets to see what the healing effects are. And you know, they're not nothing. I don't make recommendations anymore. I used to, because I was in that place. Every time somebody at like the truth or journey, right? You find a truth and you're like, I got to share this with the world. Everybody needs to know this. But I think that was, you know, some of my own, you know, narcissism showing through as well. And you know, it's like there's the two-parter. There's the thing where it feeds your ego when you get people to do something that you know is true, and then there's the I actually legitimately want to help people thing, right? So there's both of those things happening, and it just feels euphoric, like getting people healthy as well. Like that's kind of my calling in life. But there's this whole like you know, I found this thing, I got to share it with everybody. And you know, I've since learned, like, you know, you don't have to do that. You should pump the brakes. You need to you know, see it all the way through, and then also consider this might not be the best thing for everybody. So now, even though I know what works for me personally, and a lot of people I've personally worked with and coached, you know, everybody's different. And now I get so many more people with so many issues that I haven't come across yet, that I inherently know now not to make like blanket recommendations, because that's very, very common in the diet
Yeah.
space. It's like, you know, in the carnivore world now, I mean, and 10 years ago, there was nobody was doing it, but now they're just like, oh, just go carnivore, they'll fix everything. And it's like, there's a lot of stuff it could fix, but there's so many other things you got to consider in people's psychology, what they're willing to do as well. So, yeah, what was the question?
Actually, there was no question.
I'll draw the line. No red, raw meat for me, man.
Oh yeah, that's right.
But,
raw meat.
but you can do the top of the hour though.
Oh yeah, I guess you can.
Yeah, you can.
All right, guys. We're doing the top of the hour, guys. It's Third Eye Truth Theorem Podcast, episode 158. We have I want to say, make sure I say it right. Luke Andersen.
Oh, man.
Closer? I try to roll the R.
I know.
It's not even an R roll. It's like in the back of the throat.
Okay, now I guess I butchered it. I give up. But yeah, we have a great conversation with him. Wellness practicer, and he teaches that as well. So he definitely helps out people in their everyday life. All right, guys, we're getting back to the podcast. Let's get back to it.
All right. So
So you're totally fucking nuts, right? Like that's what you're about to say.
no,
Yeah.
not at all. It's not yet. So I'm skipping way ahead now. So
Mhm.
so now we're into more. You're here.
Mhm.
You found what is now called the collective.
Yeah,
So
and we're not communists. We've had that question.
Seriously?
Yeah, collectivists. You know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So how did you get into the healing part? Is that all up to your journey where you're at? Because what you do at the collective
Mhm.
is actually, I'll let you just say what the collective is all about.
Yeah.
And go from there and where it's located.
Yeah, it's we're all about as radical of health as you want to journey down. Like you, as far down the rabbit hole of health as you want to go. Like we're there. You know, we have not gone to the end of the rabbit hole by any stretch of the imagination, but we've gone pretty far down it, and that's what we're there for: is fitness, extreme up to extreme levels of fitness, or just making sure that you get off the couch. You know, learning how to be more accountable. It's a holistic wellness. We had a cafe in there for a while. We got a little bit tired of trying to, you know, run that. So now it's kind of just our own thing. But if you ever want to come by and get a coffee, we'll make you a coffee.
How's that? Didn't you sell coffee out of there though?
We did, yeah. We had coffee, smoothies, all that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah. You know, just trying to offer like an organic, like a truly organic alternative in the area. But yeah, I mean, I could say I could lie and say it was because nobody values it, but it's more because we just are terrible at marketing. So yeah, that's mostly it. Yeah, so we are on 401 Clock Road in Benton Harbor. So if you go just across the bridge, and then instead of turning left into Gene Clock, you turn right, and then we're on the left just after the river. Yep.
It used to be an old electric building.
That's right, the electric equipment company. Yep. Yep.
I was born and raised in this town, so yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
He knows where everything is.
Yeah, I do.
Oh man, yeah. You could figure out the I need to make like a Benton Harbor St. Joe bingo.
Yeah,
You'd win.
probably would.
Yeah.
I probably would on that one.
Yep. All the little Easter eggs.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's plenty in this town. These two towns are very interesting. I think people in Michigan tend to get this whole sad seasonal affective disorder,
Yeah.
and they bitch and moan
About
especially towards the end of the winter.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they're just like, fuck this place, it sucks. So it's like there's so much history and cool shit and like secret society shit.
Yeah.
There's so much cool stuff around us. And Capone
Yeah.
and
Technically, this actually, the weird thing is, St. Joe used to be the worst place to live.
Mhm.
Benton Harbor was the best place to live of all the
Right.
$1
Yeah.
million homes.
Yep.
Technically, those mansion homes, everything up going down.
Yeah.
Businesses.
Yeah.
and
There may or
things like
may not have been a coordinated attack
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much.
on Benton Harbor.
Yeah, sure, it's true
that.
actually.
That's true.
And then St. Joe was not the worst place, but it wasn't upkeep. It wasn't the best place to live, especially
Right.
down on the beach. They
Mhm.
were the worst houses. Everything else. Al Capone used to come to the Wickham when it was
Yep.
a hotel.
Yep.
He's the one also brought that fountain from Chicago. That's why that fountain
It's
looks.
so cool.
That's why
I
that
did not
fountain.
know
That's
that.
why that
Yep,
fountain
yep.
looks like.
That's crazy.
That's why that fountain looks like the one in Chicago
Yep.
Okay.
because he liked it
The
so
one in
much.
Grant Park?
I love
Yeah.
that you know that. That's
Yeah.
great. Yeah.
I did not
And
know that.
yeah, I mean, he loved that fountain so much he brought it over here.
Made one
Mhm.
And
identical one.
yeah,
And there's a bunch of tunnels here too.
yeah. There's a
Oh, bitch.
Yeah.
You know where these tunnels are?
they're all mostly caved in, but yeah,
Probably,
Yeah,
sealed
they filled
up,
a lot of
sealed
they're
up.
it,
filling a
yeah.
lot of them in.
Mhm.
It was along the Arboretum area, going down from the Wickham down to the marina,
Mhm.
so we can get.
And a couple of different
Yeah.
mansions in the area.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's
Mhm.
mansion where he used to
Yeah.
live. He used to own a house on Miami, and a lot of
Yeah.
those, though, actually, the people that still live there tried to dig him back out, where he had an escape tunnel going down,
Yeah.
and that's where
Got
actually.
the tunnels, Shane. Yeah.
And the funny thing
That's
is,
the way
It's our
Oh.
escape route.
Tommy Machine Gun, or is it?
Kelly.
No, not,
Yeah,
Kelly.
no.
That's not Kelly.
No, Tommy,
That
what's
dude
Tommy
that wears the
Gunn, Tommy Gunn.
dresses.
Tommy Gunn. Yeah, I know. Tommy Gunn, Machine Gun guy. His
Yeah.
machine gun's here.
That's what they named the Tommy gun from, right?
Yeah, that's where
Yeah.
it's here. But he also stayed at Capone's house here in Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's a couple of. I mean,
There's some cool
That's
shit
cool.
here.
And actually, the gangsters from
didn't he have something
Detroit.
in South Haven as well?
No,
Mm.
Capone did?
no, Michigan City area.
Mhm.
Oh, I swore I took a boat ride that said Capone had a house up there,
No, he never.
right on
Had,
the lake.
he never had one
Mm.
in Michigan, South Haven area.
I beg to differ.
It's possible.
Yeah, it's possible. It's
It's
possible.
possible, but
I haven't heard of it, but it's possible.
I haven't heard of it either.
I took a boat ride maybe 4 or 5 years ago.
He might have visited. I don't think he owned that
No,
house.
they said this is Capone's old house right here.
Mm.
That's a new one.
Okay, but that's
But the
yeah, yeah.
Detroit gangsters always came here because
Mhm.
from Chicago, because this is like the meeting area for
Halfway
between the
point,
two.
halfway point.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of history in St.
Yeah.
Joe and Benton Harbor area.
Small towns that had tunnels and harboring criminals.
Yeah, yeah, and there was an active MK Ultra
Mhm.
program going on here as
Really?
well. Hmm. Yeah, it's part of the reason why the town has the dynamics that it does.
That's wow. My mind is blown.
You
Yeah,
know
the
that?
No, I
CIA.
didn't know about the MK Ultra. No.
Oh no, the CIA was
Yeah.
in the black community here.
Yeah.
Up through the 90s. Yeah, actively
I could
bringing
see,
in
I could
drugs.
see that happening during the late 60s,
Mhm.
70s.
Yep. Started in probably the late 50s is what it
Yeah.
seems. But yeah, at least through the 90s, they
Because you
were.
had all the Black Panther parties
Mhm.
that were
Yep.
growing,
Guided and funded by the CIA.
Yeah.
hmm
Yep. Anything that had anything to do with the civil rights movement
Right.
being closely watched.
hmm
Wow.
Yep.
We're a big channel for Lake Michigan, honestly.
Yeah, because we're a pinch point between Detroit and Chicago, and we're right on the lake.
Yeah.
So, and because of the families that are still here, even to this day. So,
I didn't know this area had a significant part of all of that. That's crazy. That's crazy to know that.
Yeah, and that's why it is funny to hear, the majority of people do seem to opine about how, just this place sucks. I can't wait to get out of here. And it's like, I can understand why they say that for sure.
There's
I totally
nothing really
get it,
to do in this town.
that's why I like it.
Yeah, I
think
just like
it's
it because
the
I
reason
like
I
the
like
town.
it.
Yep.
It's, you keep to yourself. And,
Yeah.
and no one bothers you.
Yeah.
Nothing said about you.
It's just peaceful for me.
That's peaceful.
I like the lake. If I ever did move,
Yeah, I love the lake.
If I ever did move, I have to live on water.
Yeah.
I had to live on another man-made lake or another little bit bigger lake, but this is one beautiful lake.
I'm one of those nuts that grew up surfing out there.
I am too.
Really? No way.
Mhm.
What do you surf?
What do I surf? I don't surf that much anymore, but
You do like a longboard?
yeah, I'm more of a longboard now.
Nice. I'm a boogie boarder.
So am I.
Nice.
I went this year. I think I bruised 2 ribs boogie boarding. Actually, I did.
Last 2 years ago?
No, last year.
Last year? Yeah, I should tell you a secret.
Well, I'm getting old.
Yeah. He got it.
No, I'm not getting old. I should have turned with the wave, not against the wave.
The body doesn't respond as
The
well.
board hurt me more than anything. Yeah, actually,
Oh, my pride.
I boogie board more this year than I did surf because
I love boogie boarding. It's great.
I actually I boogie board more. Yeah, I boogie board more this year than I surfed.
Now, is there a peaceful element to this, to surfing and boogie boarding and all this stuff?
Yeah, I mean, if you live in California, you wouldn't know.
Yeah.
But yeah. I mean, here you get to like try catching a wave in California. Get out of here, Grum.
I know they didn't like me in Hawaii. I know that.
Yeah.
They hated me in Hawaii.
Yeah,
Cool.
and
What'd you do?
I took someone else's wave.
yeah,
Oh,
so
so
I did the same thing in Mexico, and
So
they
it's
got
a-
on me.
It's
You ever seen the movie Point Break?
Yeah,
Just like that.
but worse.
Yeah.
really.
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah.
they're nuts.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they're nuts out
They'll-
there.
So
they-
You think like, because you're like, oh man, the surfing's like the best thing ever. It's the most peaceful thing. You're like one with the water.
Oh,
you
it's
know,
like totally rad, man.
On Bodhi,
Oh,
and it's like,
Zen.
if you could be in a place, and again, it comes back to that people being subjects to their circumstances, and that's why the Atman, the fully aware man, is such a pinnacle towards achievement, because you can be a victim of, oh, there's too many people on these waves, and I'm going to turn into an asshole because I have to, otherwise I can't catch any waves. Or you can find another solution. You could be the person that is non-reactive. You could be the person that figures out, a different means, or maybe you could be smart enough to just not go to that spot
Yeah.
and go somewhere else.
Here you're hitting.
Enjoy a slightly not as good wave.
To answer your question about waves around here, though, you're getting
Yeah.
on the prime time. The best time to get the waves around here is from August
Mhm.
till November.
Right. Yes.
When
The
water's
waves-
most choppiest.
And actually,
Yep.
it's also the coldest.
Yeah.
Yep.
So the water's changing degrees. And also, the waves are going from before a storm, you might get those 6-foot waves. But the time from August to November, the waves are up to 10 at least.
And is
Oh,
it
really?
is it just me, or do the 6-foot waves hit you harder here than the 6-foot waves in Florida or
Yeah.
anywhere else?
Yeah, a little bit. I think I think it is. Yeah, I think the
It's
waves.
a very strange phenomenon, and the way that they I mean, there are a couple of spots that you can go to, or up north at Stony Point there's a really good spot. I've surfed at Copper Harbor as well,
Ooh, I've been there.
and there are a couple of spots that create like waves that you'd find in Hawaii with like these perfect little tubes. But, you know, like for the most part, they're slopey walls of water that you're lucky if you can just like drop it and then crash
Yeah.
and bruise your
Or
ribs.
see how far you go down. Yeah, thanks. How far you can ride it.
Nothing to do
ride
with
it down.
age. Happens to everybody.
Yeah.
Okay.
It does. It does. Let me see you go out there.
Oh, I don't. I know. I stay in my lane.
It's
man.
fresh water, so you don't have to worry about the sharks and everything else.
Stay in my lane.
It's just there's nothing out there that could hurt you.
Yeah.
Except your pride.
There's only been one confirmed shark attack in Michigan.
Yeah.
Ever.
But
And that was a bull shark in 1969.
But
was
that's
it?
up there by Traverse City, I heard.
That was in Chicago.
Really?
Mhm.
I heard it was up by there's one spotted by
Jamie,
Traverse
can you pull that up?
No.
I mean, Scott.
City.
Yeah, but that
But-
sounded better. I just wanted to be Joe Rogan for a second.
Yeah, Jamie is in Joe Rogan's show. I know where he was going with that.
Yeah, fact check me.
Yeah.
No emotional ties to information. I didn't come up with anything. I'm just regurgitating things that I've heard, and I could be wrong.
But
So
when I served in Hawaii,
I'm like, that's Scott.
I know. When I served in Hawaii, it was
He
nice.
gets
It
it.
was peaceful. I mean, it was beautiful.
Yeah.
And like you're asking, is it zen-like? Yeah. It is pretty zen-like because you're on body of water. You're doing something that nobody else has ever done in a while. That you're thinking, I'm surfing. I'm riding this wave. I'm feeling the water. Like no offense, like Bodhi was right when he says it's a great feeling just to be one with the water, one out there, and just be peace and
Pure
quiet,
energy.
and just going
Pure
on
energy,
full
man. Right.
adrenaline on paddling, jumping up, and surfing the wave.
Well, you know, and that's like a thing that we do in our business is sound healing, right? That's become one of the bigger things. And if you look at like how sound waves are shaped, you get that breadth in the ocean, you know, and in the lake. You're like riding the physical manifestation of like a sound wave.
Yep.
It's really profound, and it does change you when you're in it, having the water around you and the ions in the water. It does transform you, even on a cellular or even a hormonal level. So like you are being changed by just being in water in general. So, and then there's the whole Emoto experiments. Are you guys familiar with the memory of water?
Yeah.
You've heard of this?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like now we know like water has a particular level of consciousness that it can remember. So if you cuss at it, you know, it can have a specific type of molecular shape. And if you hold it and cherish it, it'll have a different shape. It's super profound.
But I'm not like one of those guys. I don't know if you have. I'm not one of these guys that go out in December and have icicles hanging from my whole face or my body and surfing on those waves.
No, I never got
never did
into it that hardcore.
There's out
I have gone out during like when it wasn't like wavy, just to be out there and experience it, but and almost get stuck. But yeah, no, I never felt overly called to, you know, potentially getting, you know, knocked out by an ice ball. And,
there's some guys up way up north to the UP that surf on Lake Superior during the winter.
Yep.
And like you said, the icicles hanging from the
there's guys out here that still do it.
That's insane.
I mean, they're
friends with
wearing
half of
some
them, so,
decent wetsuits, you know.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, it's yeah, you got to be really, really into it. I've always just been much more casual about it. You know, my dad was a little bit more into it, especially in the 80s and 90s. Like it was, you know, boogie boarding when it blasted on this, like he was into it.
Yeah.
So, and he still, you know, he still goes out here and there, but you know, he got old, but sorry, Pops.
I also boogie board and surf. So I can't paddle out there.
You know, I used to approach everything as like, I need to become the best I can possibly be at this. And that was all a survival thing, you know, ultimately deep down, like the surface level, there was definitely a whole like ethos of I'm going to do the best I can, which is all well and fine. But you know, I've like pushed myself past my limits to try to, you know, probably to cope with the fact that I'm so damn short. But you know,
At least he admitted it. He does. He at least
he's coping with it.
I mean, man, you know, if you're short, I mean, you can't be angry.
No.
Like, fuck, I was angry. That was a bad place to be. You can't be short and angry.
I know
That's not a good
people like
place.
that.
Okay, leprechaun.
I know a couple people like
Oh,
that.
he's an angry elf.
Man, he's a little angry. He's an angry little leprechaun, isn't he? He's spicy.
Yeah, that's not good, man. Like, you got to be, if you're gonna be angry, I mean, you got to be at least 5'10". You know.
I'm almost there. One more growth spurt. One more growth spurt. I'll get it.
Next year, I know it's my year.
Yeah. I'm at 5'8", 5'9". It's
Oh
okay.
man, he can't be angry. He's not 5'10".
So, besides surfing, I mean, to get back to your shop,
Oh yeah.
what do you guys do besides not having the coffee and being the spiritual part of it and the healing? What else do you guys do there?
Yeah, so like the biggest thing for me has always been like fitness, you know, and physical excellence. And you know, so I've run classes, you know, for the most part for the past few years. We're kind of shifting a little bit in our business now. Like I'm setting up an online thing. You know, we're kind of gonna be rebranding soon in the future as well. You know, I want to reach people kind of where they're at a little bit more and be able to travel more and do some other things that we're trying to do. We're doing more retreats now. We've got a retreat coming up in September at Wild Rice, and that's in Wisconsin on Lake Superior. And yeah, so that's going to be really, really wild. So we're going to do more stuff like that.
It'd be really wild at
Wild Rice. Yeah. 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 Well, if it's, I mean, you can already tell, like, if it's going to be a retreat with me, you know, and you haven't even met Adrienne. She's even crazier than I am. No, I'm just kidding. But we're yin yang, right? Yeah. She balances my absolute nuts. So, but yeah, you can already tell, like, it is going to be wild, you know, but in like a good way.
So what do you do at these retreats?
So this one is going to be based around like sound and stories is kind of the ethos. So the whole idea, if you studied like, you know, and this goes back to like the Yoga Sutras and really like if you've gone deep into yoga, anything can become a religion, right? Everybody thinks that isn't into yoga thinks it's a religion. It's not. It's supposed to be more of a science than anything. And there's a dedicated way that the sages over the centuries, eons, millennia have figured out how to connect to the divine, connect to God, connect to the universe, your higher self, whatever you want to call that. And it's like you were talking about the third eye. This is the Akashic records where you can gain the wisdom of the world, maybe not in English, maybe not in words that you understand, but it manifests in your life at various points. You know, once you make that connection, it might not all happen at once. Like, oh man, I'm there. I'm the one. I've downloaded it. You know, but it could, you know, you could have downloaded everything, but it takes your unloader, right? Like, to use a computer reference of like, it could take 30 years for you to fully express all that you downloaded in one session, right? So what we're trying to do is essentially connect to that, bypass the thinking mind. So again, your thinking mind is just an algorithm. All it's there for, it's not real. Like, you're not real. Like, most of what you think of is yourself. The little parts of your personality, all of our personalities that shine through that are, you know, inherently the lights, like that's the real us. So it just enhances the things that enhance your personality to where you're like effective in the world and you're the joy, you know, that's the real you shining through. So we're just wearing a mask and we're expressing it in a particular perspective. So that's the real us. So we're trying to bypass that and get to our higher calling. Like, first of all, what's the story we're telling ourselves? You know, which is like, is it negative? Is it overly positive? Like, in a narcissistic way? Is it this? Is it that? We're going to try to be as honest as the person can accept about themselves, because, you know, not everybody's ready to hear the full truth. I mean, I'm probably not ready to hear the full truth about myself either. You know, that's just the way it is, living with an ego, you know? So, but we're just trying to peel back the layers as much as we can feasibly so that we get those instructions and that we just start carrying them out.
Why in Wisconsin?
Because it's fucking awesome.
I like that. It's a good, great answer.
Super fucking cool. Yeah. It's peaceful. Super peaceful.
Not the answer I thought I was gonna get.
What?
That's the answer I expected.
Wild Rice is like they originally started as like a restaurant. There's like going for like a Michelin star.
Yeah.
So the kitchen is massive, and then the restaurant shut down. The woman that started it, somehow or another, she was able to set up a retreat center, and they did it kind of like Scandinavian style. So it's like it's relatively understated, but it's like fancy, you know, and it's like it's really nice. So they've got like the amazing sauna and the cold dumps and the, you know, like
Wow, really?
oh yeah, and then the kitchen is just like stupid huge.
I like
It's like ridiculous. You're like, why is your kitchen so big? It's because they were like that's what they were. They were like supposed to be this Michelin star restaurant, and for whatever reason that didn't work out. But they still have that as their ethos, so they center around food, which is huge for me because I'm a huge food person. So
Okay, raw steak, man.
yeah, I value the quality of a good raw steak. You know, I'll have it rare. How rare?
I like mine rare, actually.
Mooing,
Yes.
please.
Sear on all four sides and just put it on the
No. Just let me just, you know, grab it like that.
Give it to me raw.
Yeah, the more off-putting I can make it, the better.
so steak tartare.
I love it.
I do.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, I
yeah.
like steak tartare.
Yeah.
You never had steak tartare.
Yeah. I don't think and my blackness allows it.
Please, please char that fucking thing.
I don't char it.
With an egg on top.
Don't give me don't get me wrong. I don't char it.
It needs to be gray all the way through.
No.
Thank you.
I can have a little pink in mind, but it's just raw. I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah. Thank you.
That's what she said.
Appreciate that.
Little thinking.
There. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Which button is it?
Ah, he said what button it is. He knows what that one is.
Sad trombone.
I always get that. Or that I get booed. I think he enjoys it too much.
So, you know, they will not be serving any raw meat there.
So
But yeah, so that's kind of our thing. We're gonna spend a lot of time in nature. We're gonna go to the Apostle Islands one of the days. It's just a fucking cool experience. So yeah.
that sounds actually really satisfying, actually.
Yeah.
Because
And sound baths every day.
now,
Total nervous system,
yeah.
you know, regulation. That's like the whole protocol. So, and part of regulating your nervous system is finding out what instructions are from God, your higher self, whatever you want to call that, is figuring out what the fuck you're really supposed to be doing. Like some people already are like living it. They're like if it's weird, you're probably on the path,
Yeah.
you know, like it doesn't mean that if you run a 9-to-5 job, you're not on the path. Of course, you know, you could be as well, but you know, there's something inherent about something that's a little bit off of the beaten path that says inherently I need to be doing something else, right? So you guys are already kind of like you kind of get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But a lot of people are searching for that. And that doesn't mean that they quit their 9-to-5, but maybe they start going down the path that, you know, maybe it's to share a healing journey, you know, and then that's going to have ripple effects in positive reverberations down the line for somebody else. Like, who knows, you know, like maybe your path is just for you to experience and you're not going to fucking affect anybody.
How many days
You know?
is this?
It's 4 days.
4 days?
Yep. 3 nights, 4 days. Yeah.
Lodge, everything else,
Yep.
everything's included.
Yeah. Yep. So if you just get there and then we'll take care of the rest.
What is the expected result at the end of the retreat? What do you get out of it?
Satisfaction.
I mean, you know, we don't get my satisfaction. You know, we don't want to like necessarily say like this is the exact thing you're going to get because everybody's results are going to be different. But we really want people to at least experience that ability to feel, you know, at the very least like relief, you know, and just like there's this kind of funny thing happening now where people are like kind of poo-pooing the idea of going on vacation. And it's like, that's a part and parcel of human experiences to break, you know, we used to have seasons and we used to be nomadic, you know, like we used to change our scenery and there would be different things every 3 months. So it's like, even if it's just a vacation, I mean, that's great too. But really, like, what we're trying to set up is a very powerful transformation for people. And we want to do it in a way that isn't just through suffering. Like, we have the option for some suffering. There's a little ice bath thing in there, like, stuff like that. But it's going to be pretty relatively toned down. It's more to give yourself the space to heal, because we can't heal you. Nobody else can heal you. Your cerebral cortex is the thing that's holding you back. So, people talk about hormones, as they should, but what's regulating the hormones? It's your nervous system. So if your nervous system, like mine, is totally fucked, like, you got to learn how to chill it out.
Yeah.
Meditation, huge. Once you get to, so when you get into the really, really deep hormonal responses, that's usually about the 40-minute mark in meditation. So or in a sound bath, it's about the 12 to 15-minute mark. So, because like, I don't know if you've played around with like mantras or single pointed focus. There's different experiences. If you just sit there for 20 minutes, 10 minutes, like, there's a certain experience and benefit that you get from it, undeniable. But you feel a benefit much faster if you focus on one thing, especially in the beginning.
Yeah.
And in the same way with the sound bath, you're overwhelmed with the experience, and it just in a good way, like, it just drops you in, right?
Yeah.
And that's why we've gotten into this so much more over the past 5 years. I mean, we've probably collected well over 100K worth of sound equipment,
Okay.
like gongs and bowls and like high,
Yeah.
like, good shit. Like we've gone to Italy. Adrian's taken all these trainings with these master gong makers, and
Oh, really?
like, we've gone into the caves of Grata Sonora and, like, spent time with these people and, like, befriended them. So yeah.
How'd you meet her?
So Adrian and I were at a Renaissance Athletic Club.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we were like, she was actually the developer of the yoga program, designed the yoga studio there, and I was one of their first trainers. And we were just friends. So we were friends for a long time. She's one of the only people that kept up with me when I was in Afghanistan.
Oh, really?
Like, on a very regular basis, like, 'cause she's one of those empathetic people as well. That's like a true empath. So, she was, always worried about me and stuff. And then we were friends for a long time after I got back, and she saw, a lot of the struggle I was going through. And, and that's where a lot of empaths can get into trouble, is they want to take on other people's burdens. And the shadow side of that is because they aren't ready to deal with their own. So instead of covering it up with drugs, we cover it up with helping people. So that's the guys.
Yeah.
So that the shadow side of it is, like, on the surface, it looks like you're just this perfect person that's just trying to help people, and you just get taken advantage of. But in reality, you're just trying not to deal with your own
Your own
shit.
stuff.
Yeah. So she was dealing with my shit, being this messed up veteran. And I mean, that totally changed her as well. So we've been told to multiple times from different people that, that are supposedly, like, medium type people, you guys are twin flames. You're meant to be together for this purpose of bringing healing towards one another, like, bringing that shadow up in each other. And, we've had a lot of issues with that, because, I mean, just the challenges of living with a veteran with a, PTSD growth.
Like,
I prefer shell shock. This is different, right? Everybody's got PTSD.
Yeah.
Every
I get
single
that.
human on earth has
I like that.
PTSD. But there's a particular type of shell shock when you've been in combat, when you've been shot at or had to shoot back or killed somebody. It's much different. Because I've had PTSD from childhood. I've had actual PTSD in that way, and I've also had shell shock, and they're different. So,
much different.
I think that the distinction needs to be made, not to puff ourselves up, but to know how to deal with the person differently. Because a person that's had childhood trauma, there's a lot of parallels to the military trauma. But what a lot of people don't understand too is that most of the people that have the shell shock also also had the PTSD. Why do you think they're in the military? Because their lives are fucked up, right? You think I'd be here if I had other options? You think Barron Trump's going to be in the military? Fuck no. You know, like,
Right,
no.
right.
Those people aren't in the military. They have options.
So, how'd you guys meet? Besides, I mean,
Just, yeah, it was,
just through the
yeah, so,
Renaissance, and
you know,
guys
and we were
kept on talking after that.
yeah, and Renaissance changed hands a million times. It was just like, you know, it would be a good environment, then it wouldn't be. And it was just like, you know, like you just couldn't quite do what we wanted to do there. Like we wanted to do all these really high level workshops and this deep work that we're doing now. And we just said, like, fuck it, like we just got to go open our own thing.
Well, yeah.
And I mean, we were just literally just friends. And we just decided we're going to open this business together. And then, you know, I mean, after however long of doing that, like, you know, we became more than friends.
Yeah.
We're, you know, like, this sounds super gay, but, you know, life partners. But
Actually, it did, but it's okay.
There's nothing wrong with
It
that.
made sense.
I hope Brad is watching.
He might be. I don't know.
Yeah.
He's
He's the one that said it.
Enjoy that gay joke, Brad.
yeah. Pretty much. We've actually. He probably would. He's actually going to come back on, and when he comes back into town in June.
Oh, great. You've had him on?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
I actually went to high school with him. So.
No way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Brad's one of my favorite people.
Yeah, I went to high school with Brad, and also we had Joey D on from New Buffalo area.
Nice.
And his stories, actually, we're gonna have him back on soon too, eventually.
I mean, anybody named Joey D has got to have good stories.
Actually, it's Joey DiMaggio, and
Yeah.
his stories were actually pretty wild. Wow, he went to Club 54 and was the manager of Club 54 in New York.
Wow.
And at a young age, and he told everything, and he's on sobriety from everything he's done, and it was pretty cool.
Wow.
But yeah.
Yeah.
And he's a somewhat good guy, but he still goes to church every Sunday and sings in it and stuff like that. But to go with the question I have, so what made you guys open up your shop here at that location?
Well, actually, we were in the Arts District first.
Where
so 234 Territorial is the original location.
Right down the road from
it was the original Mad Dog.
Okay, yeah.
So they were already set up like for like kind of a boutique style thing, and there was already a little cafe in there. So we were just like, fuck, why don't we just try this? And you know, being you know, the hippies that we are, without any experience in business, like we just fucking just started.
You know, jumped right head first.
We just figured it out on the way. Yeah.
Oh, let's open our own business.
Yeah. I mean, we had no idea what we were doing. So, but we had a lot to offer, and I think that's what allowed us to stay in business for 10 years.
Yeah.
You know, and only the past couple years have we really figured out, you know, how to do. You know, I didn't do taxes that entire time. No, I'm just kidding. Only the IRS doesn't watch those, do they?
No. No, but Big Brother.
No.
Big Brother probably does, but it's okay.
Yeah. Always watching.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, we you know, this again is kind of like, I hate to make this overly hippie, but it's like everything comes back to confronting the shadow self, you know? So like we both had a negative view of money, like kind of this whole, like how a lot of people do, right?
All evil.
Yeah, it's the root of all evil. It's gross. It's dirty. We don't like it. You know, we don't want to deal with it. And as a result, like, you know, I've had to continue working nuke jobs like pretty much the entire time. And I actually kind of enjoy it. So, you know, I'm like
easy.
I'll jump inside of nuclear generators and install these heavy pieces of metal. Like I'll do like platforming work where I'm working underneath of the steam generators and do all sorts of crazy shit. So I enjoy it. You know, I mean,
one of our friends works at there. Tiny.
Yeah. And I get to travel around the country doing it.
Yep.
So, and it, you know, and it keeps us afloat.
Yeah.
So, but now we're finally starting to branch out. Like I'm working on an app, so I developed it. It's called Sinew. We can go in a whole rabbit hole there, but yeah. So initially, obviously I just go off on tangents. So I'm gonna blame that on the brain injuries. But
It's your frontal lobe.
it is. Yeah, it's probably not even there anymore. Yeah. The meditation, it just keeps me, if I stop doing it, I don't know what would happen. But
I don't know about me either.
yeah, so we started off there. We were there for a few years. We actually were going to possibly buy that building, and it didn't work out. And then in that process, it came up that electric equipment building was there. The Third Coast guys were there at one point, like
Yeah, they
part
were,
of it. And then when they moved out, we got the whole building, and we've just been there, in totality since like 2020. So
I used to actually talk about that little river was it Pawpaw River?
yep.
So
Mhm.
that Pawpaw River, actually, my grandfather used to have a house farther down where the golf course is at.
Okay. Yep.
And we used to ride the pontoon boat. He used to have a pontoon boat going up and down that channel, how far as we could go until that bridge, actually.
Right.
Because that bridge is
Well, you can go under it right now.
You can, but back then you couldn't on a pontoon boat. And then we just kept on turning around to
Mhm.
fly back towards the house and go
Yep.
past it and go past
This is a no
Pier.
wake zone, asshole.
Yeah, pretty much. We're the only ones that had a pontoon boat on this, and there's no kayaks back then. And
Mhm.
we just had a blast. Just actually, I always will remember he's blaring Paul Simon, the rhythm CD, and going up and down that channel, hearing Paul Simon sing and just having a blast.
That's great,
We
dude.
did.
That's so great.
And meditation, actually, you said about 10 minutes and
Mhm.
focus on something.
Yeah. Yeah.
What do you focus on?
I do a variety of things. I've got one of my teachers, Gina Mignard. She taught me. So it's one phrase, and it was, yeah, still a little murky on how she got it. Maybe she channeled it, where she got it from, but I'm not allowed to say it out loud ever. Like it's a silent one in your head that you just repeat at a certain cadence. That's my favorite one. Like I do that one at least 20 minutes twice a day. And you're supposed to do it in perpetuity for like, at least a year, which I haven't been every single day on it, but such is life. But yeah, I mean, like I did that meditation. There was on this last tour, on this last job that I took down in Florida, right? I'm underneath of the steam generator. I'm in the little box, and all work was cut, so I wasn't allowed to do any work, and I had to sit in that box for 3 hours. And there's a camera facing you, right? So you're not allowed to do anything. You don't have a phone, right? And most people go nuts during those times, right? We just can't wait. Like, please get me up there so I can work and just like, right? Because nobody wants to face their own mind. That is,
they'll be able to see their own demons.
yeah, or whatever the fuck comes up. You just want to escape it, and that's why we're doing the drugs. That's why we're doing the alcohol. That's why we're doing all this stuff, is to escape that. So, and of course, those things can become just enhancements to your life once you are more comfortable with who you really are and what you really are. But it's the covering, right? So I'm sitting there for like 3 hours one of these times, just like getting paid pretty well just to meditate, like in the bowels of I'm just thinking, like, how many people have fucking meditated in this fucking place? Like, this is great, and is one of the, if not the best meditation of my entire life.
Yeah,
And I'm just repeating this phrase over and over. So just single pointed focus. I mean, I felt like completely like I was not in my body anymore. Like I've had this a few times, but this one was just so like, because I've had out of body experiences as well. And but this one, I was like, my consciousness was like just barely in my body, but there was zero pain at all. And I just maintained it for the entire like 2.5 hours or whatever it was.
That's
Just
deep meditation right there.
super deep. Like, so, but yeah, what were you gonna say?
Actually, do you focus on anything else with an object or anything?
Yeah, I've tried that as well. Yeah. I usually come back to the it's called the blue throat yoga method, but especially because it's what I'm supposed to be doing. But yeah, even just like the silence.
Mhm.
Just trying to do the silence, just observing the thoughts Like that's really what you're doing in silence.
Yeah.
Like there's not actual silence. Maybe once you get into like the hour to 2 hour mark, you can, if you're very experienced and you drop into the delta waves. But again, that's another reason why we do the sound baths.
Yeah.
It's something to focus on, and it drops you into delta. It could be like 20 minutes and you're in delta, or yoga nidra, same thing. Like it could take you 20 years of meditation experience in silent meditation to achieve that. So it's a bit of a shortcut.
When I was meditating, I used to do a lot of sun gazing,
Yeah.
which is close your eyes, towards the sun, and let that sun sink in.
Yeah.
And I noticed when I did it, it was started off as a bright orange,
Mm-hmm.
and then it changes colors.
Yeah.
Once you get deeper into it.
Yep.
And that was the most relaxing time I've had. But when I did it in the winter,
Well, you're saying you just stare at the sun? You shouldn't do that, bucko.
Close your eyes.
I already knew that. No, I didn't say anything.
No, I stare at it.
Film.
No,
I was gonna say actually, I could never do that one.
no,
I got too hot.
of course. Of course.
I said it started taking my clothes off.
Actually, I did. With my eyes closed, but I got too hot.
When I'm doing it during the winter,
Yeah.
I would listen to a video on YouTube where it's like a certain hertz sound.
Mhm. Yep.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
let
Like a
myself sink-
binaural tone.
Let
Mhm.
myself sink into that.
Invented by Tesla.
Let myself sink into that, and that was the most relaxing time
Yeah.
I could do it. Then
I don't know if I should even say this. I probably shouldn't talk about this because somebody might. Nah,
You don't have to.
they won't do it. Well, now I dared them. Shit.
all
right. There is an extremely powerful meditation that was developed by the Monroe Institute. Robert Monroe. Have you heard of this?
No.
It's called the Gateway Project.
I don't think so.
And the CIA used it to create psychic soldiers, and all that documentation. I'm not one of those guys that's like, oh, it's all the aliens. I'm about facts and factual things.
Yeah.
Back it up, so you can look this up. And they were able to produce psychic warriors, by the way. I dabbled with this. This 2026 into 2027, my goal is to be able to get through the whole thing. But I started having really wacky shit happen, and I realized it was a little bit too powerful too powerful for me at the time. So I had to back off of it. But it uses binaural tones heavily, and a lot of like yoga nidra style things. But Robert Monroe is basically walking you through a series of guided meditations, and there's multiple different waves that you go through. And towards the end of it, most people that go through the whole thing and do it correctly, without going crazy in the process, report that they are able to read minds to a certain degree. They're able to, intuitively understand, they can see the future in very short blips. They can remote view much easier. And the CIA uses this to this day. I mean, they've refined it like ad infinitum at this point. They have an entire program for remote viewing. So it's, and I just realized like it is extremely powerful, and you have to really have your intentions set, which I finally feel like I'm in the place where I can set my intentions clearly.
Yeah.
And so I want to delve into it again. But just be very careful, because if you're not, the way the universe actually works is it's all based on your perspective and what you're putting out and projecting. So much like a demon is a projection of your own mind, people think it's an external thing. I mean, maybe it is, who knows? But if you focus on something, you're going to manifest that thing. And a lot of times people will say, no, but I focus on something and the opposite thing happens. That's because that's the negative pendulum. So whatever, and that's how the media works, right? Medea was the Greek goddess of illusion, right? And the way that she controlled people is by getting them to focus on something else that wasn't as important, right? Media. So you focus on this so intensely, everybody's focused on it. We use the tell live vision to get everybody to see this thing, and it creates the energetic pendulum in the opposite direction to get what the people that are guiding this understand this very well. There's a saying that like millionaires don't use astrology, but billionaires do. The people that are the most influential, the reason they're at those levels isn't just because of the family they come from. The family they come from got to that level because they know these secrets, right? So they understand that everything is an energetic pendulum that you create. So if you're really focused on the thing, like I wanted to break the pornography addiction, and I just couldn't do it for like 10 years, right? So focused on it, it creates this energetic pendulum where it makes some progress and then you break. And then you just go back and forth. And it gets worse and worse and worse almost at a certain point. You have to get to a point where you separate the desire for it and then you manifest it without a pendulum. Right? You have to walk the path as if you've already achieved it. And then you get what you want. But in the process, like it's not about what you want, and that's why we were doing this thing at the at Wild Rice. It's all about what is the real center of your consciousness? What is it calling for? It's not about what you want, because what you want is what your ego wants. And that's bullshit. It's money, sex, power. It's the lower needs, right? And not that you should ignore those things, but that they need to be in alignment. So that's how the universe really works. It's your attention, it's your awareness. So if you're really focused on something and you're not aligned, like you're probably going to get the opposite or some perturbation of that. And that's why.
Wow.
So,
and the ego has a lot to do with the way things turn out in your life, the decisions you make and things of that nature.
Yeah, because like they say there's a war between the heart and the mind, and that's not really true, because the heart doesn't need to fight. The heart's in control at all times, but the mind, it's like the heart doesn't have a voice, right? So the mind is continually trying to reassure itself, and it gets us into these tough spots in life because it's trying to assert its authority over the heart. This is a perfect way to talk about the elites versus the rest of us, or right and left and right, good and evil. It's the thing that tries to project itself as sophisticated or more so, is not the real thing. It's the thing that doesn't have to talk, right? The loudest guy in the room is the one that gets knocked out. It's the same kind of thing. You see it some level of that in every situation.
The quiet ones you have to worry about.
Right.
Things
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Exactly.
Wow. That's something to think about.
Yeah.
That's definitely something to think about, right?
Deep dinkers.
You okay, Joe?
Yeah.
He's just reliving some of his meditations right now.
Actually, I am.
If you were meditating the whole time.
Actually, I love that.
Soaking it all in, man.
Actually, it's peaceful.
That's very peaceful. I agree with you.
I actually, that's like you said, it was in your area of in that one little thing for 2 hours,
the box,
3 hours,
the pen.
3 hours. Mine was actually in Hawaii after my dog passed away that day. I went to the Buddhist temple there. That's in a cemetery. That was of all places. That's kind of weird. And on the Big Island, and I sat there trying to get over my dog. My grandfather, 2 years before that, or a year before that, and just sitting Indian style, looking up at Buddha and just praying, and just then all of a sudden just zoning out until this guy, actually a monk, I don't know if he really was a monk, but a monk coming up and just looking at me and just looked at me and says, "You're at peace now, aren't you?" I said, "Yes, I am, actually." "Thanks." And I looked at him and said, "Can I help you?"
You just ruined it, asshole.
I think to myself, "Can I help you?" "No," I said, "You just look like you're at peace." I said, "You're a monk, right?" He says, "Yeah." I said, "You're not supposed to speak." "You're not supposed to speak."
Just ruin my peace.
Yeah. So, but I looked at him and said, "But I am. Thank you." I said, "I've been here for an hour." And
took me this whole time to get here, man.
I said, "But it's nice." And then honestly, he gave me his beads off his neck and gave them to
Wow.
me.
Well, that's cool. Right
That's
there.
really
And-
cool.
Yeah.
And I still have.
Still have them.
I still have them, but I don't wear them much anymore. Like you,
Yeah.
I'm gonna get more different ones, but they're nice because in my eyes, if he was really a monk and stuff like that, he worshipped those. He praised those. He made those something part of his body.
Yeah.
And he saw how much I was in pain and everything else, and at ease, he gave them to me, and so
It's a powerful totem.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an energetically charged artifact.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then I found out what that place actually is where you can put your remains in this big giant temple of the monk monastery right there, and it has all the statues and everything else, but you can put your like a keepsake box inside this place. So if I have something like that, I can bring pictures of well, I'm dead, but people can bring pictures of me or my daughter or the dog or something inside this box, and they come back to this box and look at this keepsake box inside this place.
That's really cool.
Wow.
It was. And it has all the koi fish and everything else going over through it and
Yeah.
everything else.
And you
Some
can
places
speak
had
to
movies,
this
yeah.
from experience. Like you have different like it's not that you can't meditate anywhere.
Yeah.
You kind of can, but you know, like if you're in a peaceful place, so that's one factor. It's external,
Mhm.
right? And if you can control that, it's much easier to drop into those places. And if you have a lot of inner turmoil because you lie all the time or you cheated or whatever it is that's in your consciousness, it's eating you up. Like, when you meditate, like that's something you have to overcome. So that's why like some of the best meditation practices aren't meditation at all. They're just dealing with your shit.
Yeah.
Just becoming a better person.
I
And
just
just-
zone out.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And then it allows you to zone out, right?
just
But
zone out.
it's hard for a lot of people that haven't reconciled that,
Or even stress.
Come to
Right.
terms with their self.
Yeah,
their past,
yeah.
whatever
Yeah,
it-
or
what
even
they do.
stress.
right. Or just stress or
Stressing
too much,
over something.
too much caffeine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, caffeine doesn't bother me at all. So
Yeah.
the funny thing-
He's wired his nervous system to just produce the caffeine now.
Yeah.
He needs it just to function.
Yeah. Technically, yeah. I just replaced caffeine for something. I replaced.
You weren't in the
caffeine-
military?
No, not at all. He was. I was. But my thing is,
Just pure nicotine.
my life. After my grandfather passing away, he taught me one thing: was never stress over anything in your life. Never have any remorse. Don't have any regrets. Just
Mhm.
your life is what your life is going to be.
Yeah.
And he told
Smart
me that.
man.
And he told me that. And after he passed away, and I was 30, 39, maybe around the 38, 39. And he told me that, and I understood it. I respected it. Now I have no stress, no nothing. If something bad happens, if like, I'll just say like if I had to move, I had to fight with my parents. I had to move, and I went, all right, whatever. I'll find a place. If not, I'll just find a place to crash for here and there.
That's good.
But my eyes, it happens. I can't have stress or regret or anything that I said, or I can't take it back. It's out there already. I
Right.
can't have any stress about it because stress kills. Stress causes heart attacks.
Yeah.
Stress even causes brain injuries. Anything
Yeah.
out there, your body's going to react to it.
100%.
I don't have any stress in my life.
Good.
Ever.
Good for you.
And you were alluding to take a deep breath,
Yeah.
breathe.
Yep.
Yeah.
Do something to get your mind off of that stress,
Right.
that relieve that stress.
Yeah.
That's the beautiful thing about it.
Fix the thing in your life you're
Yeah.
avoiding.
Yeah.
Work out, do the thing. There's all these they can all contribute to that, but yeah, the mind is creating the environment
Mhm.
at all times. I mean, like for the guys in the audience, right? We can say, think of a hot chick. What happens to you, right? Think of it. That's just a thought.
Your
And
your hormones kick in
or
and your
Brad, think of a really hot guy,
Yeah.
maybe a Latino, and you know, he can attest, right? So now he's like, oh my,
Yeah.
you know, but you think about all those things, right, that happen to you just from a thought.
Yep.
Like that's all thoughts.
Yeah.
Has that much profundity. That's totally a word. That's always happening to you.
So I could tell you, so you said you're an empath.
Sure.
You felt empathy for people
Yeah.
also.
Mhm.
You feel their stress, their
Yeah.
crying, and everything else that their heart. I dated someone like that. We're total opposites because I don't think like that anymore. I turned that part off. I feel bad for someone like if he was down and out.
Sure.
I'll-
Like a reasonable level.
Yeah, I would console him, tell him. So if she was like, if I was still with her, she's feeling his pain.
Mhm.
She's feeling everything about him,
Right.
every single little thing. I felt it too, but then I turned to her and said, "So what do you want for dinner?" She said, and she's crying still. Said, "How can you not feel his pain?" I said, "I did. I felt it right at that moment, but now he's gone.
It's bad.
Sure.
It's I can't feel his pain for the rest of my life. If that, I'm
Right.
gonna be hurting all my life for
Yeah.
other people. But I felt it, but she still felt it and through that. And she said, "I don't know if I could do this.
Yeah.
Your friends are all in pain." I went, "Well, they're all guys." And
Yeah.
and she said, "All the women are just bitches." And I'm thinking, and they're just, and I feel that. And I went, I don't know what to tell you. I know.
or is it fantasy?
I know she she still has a trip, and she made me stop a car a couple times, and so she can stare at a tree and hug it. So she was
She's deep in her feelings.
She did.
No, that's really fantastic though.
she's a great person.
I was like that naturally from a very, very young age, you know, and like even like saving animals for my cats, you know, whatever it was. And you know, I just along the way from, you know, the childhood and being in I mean, I was not in a bad neighborhood, but a little bit rougher, you know, and this and that and the other thing and all the things in my life, you know, I've learned how to shield it, you know. So I had a resurgence of this. I went on I've gone on a couple of these now. Do you guys know Doc Sherry O'Donnell?
No.
She like ran for Congress. She's like amazing person. One of the most genuine, amazing people I've ever met. But she runs the Heartbeat Mission. So she's a doctor. She's got a whole clinic here in St. Joe.
Nice.
And she's been on 40 or 41 of these disaster zone projects, like, you know, even like basically like search and rescue type stuff.
Yeah.
Right. So in 2023, there was a earthquake and she asked, you know, they were thinking like they could probably use some veteran support on this one. So she said, against my better judgment, I was basically like, God asked me if you would come on this trip, you know, and I was like, oh, well, that's a good sign. I don't know how I can say no to that. We ended up not going to Turkey and like we were initially planning. We wound up in Lebanon, and I had, you know, I've never publicly said this. You know, I usually only tell this story with one-on-one with people, but that empathy piece really like reignited in an extremely powerful way in me. So yeah, I won't give you all the details, but there was a woman that had suffered really extreme trauma, like torture and brutalization, watching family members get killed in front of her, things like that. And, you know, she was in a lot of physical pain as well, but she was like reliving the trauma experience, like as she was explaining it. And she went into this kind of spiral. And, you know, like we kind of did a prayer over her because it was a Christian group. And, you know, she was kind of like freaking out. And the thing about Doc is she just has like, she would just attribute everything to God, right? In the Christian sense, but she has this intuition where, you know, maybe I'm wrong in the way that the Christian ethos is completely true. And I'm totally open to that. But my intuition is that she is interpreting it as this because that's the language that she was taught. But regardless of where it comes from, she just turned to me for some unknown reason, was like, you should work on her. And I'm like, what you mean? Like, this woman might be having a demonic possession. Like, her eyes are like pitch black. I'm like, she's freaking me out, And but Doc knew, and I stood behind her, and I mean, I had taken Reiki and stuff. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Reiki. It's like energy manipulation. Like, I'd taken it, and I kind of felt it, and like I'm master Reiki certified. It's like all these people like that are into Reiki, like they're always, oh, I'm a master Reiki, sir, and it's like I just like I didn't think it was fake, but I didn't feel that, like, to the degree that a lot of people say that they do.
Right.
And so I thought it was maybe like a little bit of bullshit, just a little bullshit. But I was fucking wrong. Like, whatever the fuck happened to me, it was like an energy bolt went up my spine. Like, I had what a lot of people would call a Kundalini rising experience, right? And just had this extreme energetic thing happen, and it was like waves of energy coming out of my hands, poured into her body, and when it came back, I got images from her life.
Wow.
Like, actual images, and I mean, I've never, like, all the things that I've experienced that I thought were so bad, and I've just experienced, like, like, pour me on these harder things.
Yeah.
Nothing compared to what I experienced. Like, I have never wanted to die so bad because I could not handle it. I couldn't handle her pain.
Wow.
I believe it.
And like, my whole body shook. I was just like like uncontrollable crying, just standing there, and this thing happened to me. And it was almost like, almost like the universe saying, like, all those times that you wanted to, like, cover up your shit because you wanted to take on other people's shit. Well, here you go. Like, you're not ready for it,
Yeah,
bud.
get a load of this.
Yeah, you can't heal people. The healing comes from them, right? So whatever that was, it woke me up to this whole other reality that energy work is real.
Yeah.
And it's not something to be fucked with. So, and I think thankfully I'm in pretty good physical shape, but I've honestly, like, since that February in 23, I've had spine issues from this. I mean, it was like a whip on my spine.
So this thing was like almost like a Green Mile type of, you touch somebody and take all that pain from them.
Yeah. Yep.
That's wild.
Yep. So,
Wow.
and then that whole trip, I was doing that with people. It was so powerful. I mean, I still have that, like, kind of ability to, like, move the energy. It's just, I don't know if maybe it was Doc O'Donnell. I don't know. Whatever it was, like, the people there were genuine. People were open to the healing, whatever it was. It's just very powerful experience. But I do that work now. So I do that Reiki work, and kind of, we try to make it apparent, like, we're facilitating, sure, there's energy moving or whatever, but it's about us opening up the channel for them to heal. It's their healing mechanism. We're not healing anyone.
Yeah.
So it's, but it's a very profound experience. So energy is not bullshit. It's real.
All right, we're gonna do one more question. My question.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do that last question.
What?
Where did the name The Collective come from for your business?
So we actually were originally going to be the Rebel Co-op, but we were going to do, like, kind of like a co-op thing. Like, we always thought, like, again, we didn't want to run the business. We didn't feel like we wanted to make all this money and do all this stuff. We just wanted a place, and we kind of help facilitate it, and everybody can do their own thing, but nobody wants to do their own thing, so especially in a small town.
Yeah.
Like, we ended up and then there's all these rules around an actual co-op and calling ourselves a co-op. So to this day, our website is rebelcoop.com, but we're the collective. So it's like a little, like, where'd that come from? But yeah, we were just kind of brainstorming one day, and we were like, well, we want to be a collective of things. So
I like that.
And then my business is called Living in Sinew. So, like, the shirts.
Yeah.
And if you go into the etymology of the word, I'm huge into etymology. You go back far enough and you find that sin actually just means your physical body. So if you're living in sin, it means you're living a hedonistic lifestyle. So it's not supposed to be like something you're ashamed of. But sinew is that's why it's called sinew. It's the things that hold your body together, right? The stringy muscles, the connective tissues. So that's why it's just like a play on words of living in sinew.
Wow.
I like that.
It's really good. All right. We're gonna close it up. We do our last call. What we call. What we do is on our last call we do.
Oh, you should take calls. That'd be great.
That would be great.
Eventually.
Yeah, yeah. We're gonna have to be ready for that one.
Due time.
Give shout outs to anybody that's close to you. That's help you out through this process of getting your business going. Any upcoming events that's coming up your way.
Well,
and we'll pass it around.
Obviously, the big shout out to Adrian. My partner in crime.
Yeah.
We did this together. I mean, there's no way either of us would have done this on our own. But and she's this is gonna be gay again, but she's like the rock in my life, so we have been there for each other through thick and thin. We've seen the worst parts of each other, and we've still been able to come out on the other side, so far. But and then a huge shout out to my parents, because they're about to get their 20-year coin on Saturday, which is just like wow, so super awesome. And then I guess the big event, the thing that we're trying to push out there is just the retreat in September. So that's 17th through the 20th. And if you want to get really deep, and even if you don't want to go that deep, that's totally fine too. But we're gonna allow that space for people to you don't have to take part in it. If you want to chill out for and skip one of the workshops or skip this, like we're cool with that too. But if you do want to go deep and you want to get into some of this like actual mysticism, esoteric stuff, things that I've like me and Adrian have actually experienced, some of these things that are in these texts. We've come at it with an authentic standpoint, not even knowing what would be on the other side. And holy shit, like it's beyond, it's like what you see in Hollywood, like the things that you can experience. So, not that should be the reason that people do it, but it is very powerful. So, and that's the work we want to offer.
Yep.
Yeah, I can go with this. Yeah.
Say something funny.
Nah, not today. So with mine, I'm gonna go kind of deep with it to the point where I think it's deep. For you, I'm quite amazed, not knowing who the hell you are. When everybody else says we should have you on, they were right. You're an awesome guest. Can't wait to have you on again to hear more about your stories. But for who you are, from being in the military, being sober till this day, I give everything that you've been through kudos, because that is awesome. For who you are and going through that and not having the shell shock, how you called it, I like that. How the shell shock that you've been through and you've seen and you've done, you came out on the right side of that. For that, thank you. And thank you for being in the service. I give you both, you and our new camera guy, credit, because thank you for both of you for being in the service. And I give you and him both credit for that. Me, I never wanted to. And then for the business half of it, you're still having a journey for that. And the journey that you give people, the healing part of it, that's never going to end. People always need help. People always need that part.
Of course. So
for that, once again, thank you for that. And
we really enjoy it.
And I can't wait to have you on again. I would love to have your partner in crime by herself. Then after that, having you both on after that and see how you guys react. Because I really have not right away dip both of you in at the same time. I really have one, then both of you, because that might sound like I might need 3 hours.
She is the most interesting woman in the world.
Yeah, for that one, maybe an extra.
She's got a lot of really cool stories too.
Even on the one that we have you both on, we can do that on a Sunday where we have a little bit more time and we won't go past your bedtime.
Exactly.
So
I habitually wake up at like 3:30 without an alarm.
But thank you, and thank you for coming on, and I can't wait to have you back.
Thank you so much. Yeah, no, this has been awesome. Yeah. I mean, we should just hang out sometime.
Definitely, man. That'd be good. Good time. No drinking.
Yeah, well, you can drink. I'll be the DD.
Yeah, I
It'll
can
be
drink
fun.
all I want.
Luke, thank you for joining us
Thank
today,
you both
man.
so much.
And just Scott, welcome to the crew, man. And thank you for your help, man. I appreciate it so much. Just to find out that with both of you guys from the cut from the same cloth as far as the military goes, thank you for your service.
Absolutely.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, it was my pleasure, you know, and I'm glad I did. Like I said, you know, there's good and bad, and people ask me all the time, like, you know, if their kids should join or, you know, if they're about to go in, and I'm like, man, you're gonna have to figure that out because it's good and bad.
This has been a very informative episode, to say the least. I enjoyed it immensely.
All right.
You can tell I'm just sitting here.
You taking it all in.
Taking it all in, man. And just enjoying every last bit of it. Thank you, Joe.
I want to know how many people warned you.
They warned me. They warned a lot of them warned me.
Yeah.
You were starting to get worried.
I wasn't expecting
the 30 minutes leading up to this.
I wasn't getting worried. I was like thinking, wow, my
yeah, I wasn't expecting any of this, but I was so intrigued when you started talking about things that, especially when you being in the military and the things that you've seen. This is I don't know, an eye opener for me. I tell you that much. And thank you for being on the show and sharing that with us.
Oh, there's so much more.
Oh, I can imagine. we have plenty more times that you can collaborate and get that going.
I think you look at me on that one.
No. But for those that joined us and those that will join us, thank you so much. The Third Eye Truth Theorem Podcast, episode 158. We want to thank Luke for joining us tonight and Scott for being a part of our crew tonight. Thank you so much. Guys, Joe, who's on Wednesday?
Ben's Pretzels.
Okay. We have that Wednesday at 8 p.m. Guys, if you watch on YouTube, please like, subscribe, hit the bell notification button so you can get more content every Monday and Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Join us Wednesday, guys. We got another episode coming up, and we'll see you next time. This is Third Eye Truth Theorem Podcast, and we're out.
Peace.
See you guys.